Chapter 2443. Lu Li's strength was horrifying. He was entangling the warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation from behind. He could barely move. The daughter of Saint King kept attacking. His pellet was shaken up as well. His divine energy was in a mess. For a moment, he could not even use any skills. Whoosh, 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 the 25 Buddhist beads flew over and smashed at the daughter of Saint King. The other warrior at the middle stage of the fourth tribulation targeted her as well. The daughter of Saint King was strong in defense. The silk dress she was wearing must be a piece of treasure. Average attacks could not break it. Bang, bang, bang. After the daughter of Saint King made more than 10 moves, the pellet of the warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation was cracked. At this rate, the pellet would be broken and the warrior's abilities would be weakened. In the end, he would die. Buzzing, the warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation risked his life. A faint blue haze rose around him. The blue haze gathered in front of his chest. An oppressive energy spread out from the blue haze. More and more blue haze gathered, and it was compressing clearly. The warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation was ready to risk his life. The compressed energy was horrifying. Once it exploded, the warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation might die. Lu Li and the daughter of Saint King might be seriously injured as well. Lu Li's interspatial ring glowed as he took out the relic iron. He smashed at the warrior's head. Lu Li didn't want to expose the relic iron. After all, the holy weapon fragment was precious. There were dozens of warriors nearby. Lu Li could make a move if they wanted to. At the moment, Lu Li had no time to worry. He took out the relic iron and smashed at the warrior's head. The warrior was releasing the blue haze. Sensing the horrifying energy, he was frightened. Lu Li, we are from the Hall of Blood Massacre. If you dare to kill me, we will not let you go. The warrior yelled. Lu Li's hand didn't stop. He smashed at the warrior's head. Admittedly, this man's defense was strong. A yellow halo glowed over his head, which slowed down Lu Li's attack. But in the end, Lu Li's attack still landed on his head. Bang! The warrior's head was cracked, but it did not explode. He cried out in pain. The blue haze in front of his chest exploded. Lu Li and the daughter of Saint King were both smashed away. Since the skill was not fully released, it was not that powerful. Neither Lu Li nor the daughter of Saint King was hurt. That person actually didn't die from such a terrifying explosion. He screamed and fled into the distance. His body was in a terrible state, and his hair was disheveled. He looked like a madman as he flew away. Still want to escape? Lu Li sneered. The daughter of Saint Emperor had gone after him, while Lu Li dashed toward the warrior at the middle stage of the fourth tribulation. The warrior at the middle stage of the fourth tribulation was scared as well. He wanted to run away, but the Phantom King had already flown over under Lu Li's control and entangled him. Xiao! Lu Li dashed over. The fate of this warrior at the middle stage of the fourth tribulation had been decided. Soon, he was killed by Lu Li and Phantom Master. On the other side, the Holy Emperor's daughter chased over and easily killed the heavily injured peak fourth tribulation expert. She even took back the spatial ring of the peak fourth tribulation expert. Lu Li put away the 25 beads and the pagoda. The owners of the 2 treasures were dead, and they had returned to their original state. Although it was not a supreme treasure, it was still worth some divine stones. The dozens of warriors on the island watched as Lu Li killed the 3 so easily. None of them dared to move. There were warriors at the peak of the fourth tribulation there as well. They also coveted Lu Li's holy weapon pieces. But they must have some scruples, so they didn't do anything rash. Buzzing, Lu Li opened the golden door. He didn't linger. He checked the direction and flew toward the northeast. He snuck into the golden door and vanished into the ocean. What is that? The dozens of warriors looked at each other in confusion. How could he disappear into the golden door? They checked the surroundings with psychic power but found no sign of Luli. He must have gone to a faraway place. Flying in the void. Is he the king of thousand changes? An old warrior murmured. Then, he murmured coldly, the king of thousand changes is the second most wanted person on the Wu family's wanted list. He may be the king of thousand changes, but if the Wu family gets the news, he will be doomed. Whoosh, the old man was not in the same group as the caravan, so he immediately flew towards a nearby island. There was a small city there, and the Wu family's branch was there. This area belonged to the Wu family. If he could get the news out, he would be rewarded handsomely by the Wu family. At the very least, he could gain some benefits from the Wu family's territory. Luli was not far away from the Dragon King Island. But as soon as he came out, he began to tremble and his body was askew as if he was drunk. He complained to himself. Previously, he could last for an hour when he used the dragon skill. This time, he didn't fly too far and didn't spend too much time. He didn't expect that the period of weakness would come so soon. I think my body is too weak. The dragon's skill was too strong. If one's body was not strong enough, they would not be able to stand it. Luli used psychic power to check and flew quickly. He found a small island nearby. He didn't have much time to think. He flew down and let out the daughter of the Saint King. She set up some runes to protect him. Then, he fell asleep. Luli would be weak when the period of weakness of the dragon skill was over, not to mention that he had just been flying. He could not stand it any longer and fell asleep. If there was an Asmodean warrior nearby, he would have to admit defeat. Blood Fairy began to work at once. Fortunately, there were no powerful warriors nearby. Soon, she built a formation of illusion to change the situation on the island. Then, she began to build a formation of confusion. In this way, even if someone were to attack, the island could last for a while. A day later, the formation of confusion was ready. When Blood Fairy was about to build formations of destruction and entrapment, a man flew over from the distance. It was an old man with a hunched back. He was fast, but Blood Fairy could not tell what realm he was at. That being said, he was as fast as a warrior at the later stage of the fourth tribulation. He flew past quickly, not paying attention to the island. When he passed by the island, he suddenly stopped. He looked back and stared at the island with suspicion. It was obvious that he had discovered the divine rune illusion on the small island. The island was small, so small that there was nothing on it. No one would live in seclusion on an island like this. The sudden appearance of runes here, and a high-level one at that, naturally attracted the attention of the old man. The old man flew over and circled around the island. The daughter of the Saint King was nervous. There were still runes that had not been built. The formation of illusion and confusion would not last long. She was right. After a long period of time, the old man finally made his move. His palms gently blasted downwards as a gigantic palm imprint blasted towards the divine inscriptions. The illusory formation and bewildering formation below instantly shone with a brilliant light, almost shattered by that palm strike. The daughter of the Saint King patted Lu Li's face and shook him. Nothing happened. Lu Li's soul was too weak. He would not wake up for a while. Boom! The old man slapped again. The runes broke. The old man saw Lu Li and the daughter of the Saint King who were in a coma. When the old man saw the daughter of the Saint King, he was stunned. Chapter 2444. Whoosh! The old man dashed over like a wolf. His skinny hand reached for the Saint King's daughter's neck. The Saint King's daughter was beautiful and had an otherworldly temperament. She was weak and there was no human emotion in her eyes. Even so, she was more attractive to the old man. The old man's lust was aroused. He wanted to take the Saint King's daughter. Therefore, he did not use strong attacks. Instead, he reached out his hand, trying to control the Saint King's daughter. Blood Fairy did not know much. All she knew was that the old man was going to attack them. Naturally, she had to fight back. She reached out her beautiful hand and smashed at the old man's chest. The old man saw that the Saint King's daughter's move was not powerful. He was not worried at all. His hand reached for the Saint King's daughter's neck. Before his hand could reach the Saint King's daughter's neck, the Saint King's daughter's hand had landed on the old man's chest. Bang! The old man felt a surge of strength. A streak of white energy came out from the Saint King's daughter's hand. That streak of energy cracked the armor on the old man's chest. His chest caved in as well. The old man was smashed away. Blood oozed out from his mouth. He was stunned. He did not expect that this delicate-looking girl could be so strong. He generated a hand and smashed down. Fearing that the hand would hurt Luli, Blood Fairy did not hesitate. She flew up and slapped at the hand with her small hand. Bang! The Sacred Emperor's daughter was slapped down heavily. However, the palm on top of her was shattered. Seeing that the Saint King's daughter was protecting Luli, the old man used the hand again. Bang, 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 the Saint King's daughter flew up again and again, only to be smashed down again and again. The old man grinned with disdain. He did not use any other skills. He just kept slapping. He wanted to see how many attacks the Saint King's daughter could take. She was such a delicate girl. Being smashed down again and again, the old man felt a strange sense of satisfaction. Boom, boom, boom. After being smashed away for dozens of times, her hand finally broke. She had to use her other hand to protect herself. The old man sneered and said, "Little beauty, how many hands do you have? You're no match for me. Stop struggling and follow me obediently. I'll bring you good food and drinks." The Holy Emperor's daughter couldn't speak. Even if Blood Fairy could control the Holy Emperor's daughter to speak, she wouldn't respond. The old man stood in the air, slamming his palms down again and again. He wanted to injure the daughter of the Sacred Emperor before capturing her. Boom, boom, boom. After several dozen more palm strikes, both of the Holy Emperor's daughter's hands were broken. Although they could slowly recover, she was unable to move her hands at the moment, so her battle prowess was naturally greatly reduced. It was obvious that this old man was a fifth tribulation expert. Even the daughter of a sacred emperor couldn't withstand a casual palm strike. If it was the daughter of a peak fourth tribulation sacred emperor, she definitely wouldn't be injured. Xiao! The elder charged down like a wolf, grabbing at the Saint Emperor's daughter again. The Saint Emperor's daughter's arms were broken, so she could only leap up and kick at the elder's chest. One of the old man's hands glowed as a huge metal glove appeared. He grabbed at the Saint Emperor's daughter. The Saint Emperor's daughter's legs were grabbed by the old man, and she could not get rid of them. The old man grinned obscenely. Looking at the Saint Emperor's daughter's long legs, he said, "What beautiful legs. You shouldn't be using them to kick people." The Saint Emperor's daughter tried her best to struggle. However, she realized that she was like a little lamb under the huge hand. She could not get rid of it. "Master, master!" Blood Fairy called out to Luli again and again. She had no other choice but to hope that Luli could wake up soon. However, Luli was too weak this time. No matter how hard she tried, he wouldn't wake up. "You want to ask your lover to help you?" Noticing that the Saint Emperor's daughter would look at Luli from time to time, the old man grinned coldly. "Then I will kill your lover first so that you won't have any more thoughts." Swish, a long saber appeared in the old man's hand. He swung the saber and hacked at Luli. A long and narrow ray of sword light whooshed down and landed on Luli's body. Luli was fine, but the island was split open. A deep crack appeared in the middle of the island. Luli fell into the ravine. Even though he fell into the ravine and was swallowed by the seawater, Luli did not wake up. The old man was surprised again. How come Luli was not injured? How strong was his body? Was there any treasure? The old man dragged the Saint Emperor's daughter down. He wanted to take Luli down as well and take all of them away. He flew down quickly and came to Luli's side. The old man took out a dark blue dagger. The dagger was covered in dense patterns and glowed. Clearly, it was a piece of treasure. The old man stabbed at Luli's neck. However, at that moment, a bead in Luli's hand glowed. A huge beast came out and dashed toward the old man in a flash. Luli opened his eyes as well. A piece of metal appeared in his other hand. He poured divine energy into it and smashed at the old man's head. That was right. As a matter of fact, Luli had woken up just now. He was weak, but Blood Fairy's repeated calls woke him up. When he woke up, he did not open his eyes or show any signs of abnormality. Instead, he quietly used the trace of the Great Path to check. Just now, when the old man attacked him, he did not do anything. This was the moment he had been waiting for. Under normal circumstances, he would not be able to kill a warrior of the fifth tribulation. He only had one chance, and that was this sneak attack. If he could not kill this old man, then both he and Blood Fairy would have to die. The old man's attention was attracted by Master of Spectre. After all, Master of Spectre's energy was strong. Luli was delighted. He swung the metal and smashed at the old man's head. Everything was perfect. Luli's plan was on point. That being said, he had underestimated the reaction of a warrior of the fifth tribulation and the old man's experience. The old man glanced at the Master of Apparition and then looked away. He glared at Luli coldly. In his hand appeared a piece of treasure that looked like a shield. When he mobilized divine energy, the shield glowed. It was a fragment of a holy weapon. Bang! Luli's mystical iron smashed on the half of the shield. A burst of horrifying energy blasted out. The small island that already had a huge ravine on it was shattered at this moment. The sea was tumbling and a tsunami was created. The old man snorted. Ignoring Master of Spectre, he swung the dagger backward at Luli's chest. It was so fast that Luli could not dodge. He could only watch as the dagger went through his chest. Luli did not use the skill of dragon. Strong as he was, he could not stand the dagger. His skin was cut open. If it were not for the fact that his bones were the shield, he would have been cut in half. Even so, deep cracks had appeared on a few of his bones. Bang! Chapter 2445. I am doomed. Luli spat out mouthfuls of blood. He was already weak. Now that he was injured, he was even weaker. That was his only chance. If he could not kill or injure this old man, he would not have another chance. That fifth tribulation warrior would not give him another chance. As he had expected, the old Asmodean caught up. He put away his dagger and took out a saber to hack at Luli. The ray of sword light kept coming and Luli was smashed away. The Sacred Emperor's daughter's other leg kept kicking at the five tribulation elder. However, the old Asmodean's hand was shaking. The daughter of Holy King missed every time. Even if she did land a kick, it would not do much harm to the old man. The daughter of Holy King's strength was mainly in her hand. Her legs were not strong. Luli was smashed away again and again. Even though the attacks from the saber were not particularly ferocious, Luli was wounded again and again. He spat out blood. Whoosh, whoosh, Luli tried to approach the old Asmodean again, and so did the Phantom King. But he was smashed away by the old Asmodean every time. A fifth tribulation warrior was not the same as a fourth tribulation warrior. Any random attack from the old Asmodean could make Luli feel powerless. Luli thought about flying in the void as well. However, if he did that, what would happen to Blood Fairy? The old Asmodean would attack the golden door. If he were to be smashed out by force, Luli might be strangled to death given how weak he was. The old Asmodean was experienced. He knew Luli was strange. Therefore, the old Asmodean chose a conservative strategy. He would attack from a distance and injure Luli first. Soon, the old Asmodean and Luli were covered with wounds. Luli put away the Phantom King and the Relic Iron. Comparatively speaking, the Phantom King was too weak. An adult Phantom King might be able to fight back, but an underage Phantom King could barely deal with the later stage of the Fourth Tribulation. How could he hurt a Fifth Tribulation warrior? Boom, 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 boom. Luli was smashed away again and again. The old Asmodean's divine energy was different from regular ones. Some of the energy entered Luli's body and corroded his physical body and divine energy. Luli would become weaker and weaker. In the end, he could only wait for death. The Silver Flame Sea was dangerous and Luli was prepared for it. There were many old demons here. Once he was alone, he would be killed. Luli just didn't expect this day to come so soon. Countless ideas flashed through Luli's mind. However, he realized that in the face of absolute power, all his schemes would be useless. In the face of a ferocious tiger, no matter how hard a rabbit hopped, it would be useless. Hiss! All of a sudden, the old freak changed his attack pattern and released a gentle gust of wind. These gusts of wind were like poisonous snakes that burrowed into Luli's body, weakening his physical body and suppressing his divine energy. Bang! The old monster put away the divine weapon in his hand and suddenly punched out. The fist turned into a series of fist shadows that continuously smashed towards Luli's head. He didn't just punch once, but more than 30 punches at the same time. Boom! Luli was already weak. After being punched so many times in a row, his head shook violently and he passed out. Blood Fairy sighed. She and Luli were like two babies in front of a Fifth Tribulation warrior. They were not at the same level. Sweetheart, I will kill your lover first and then I will take you back and pamper you. The old devil lecherously looked at the Holy Emperor's daughter. Her perfect body and strange temperament made him very tempted. At this moment, his heart itched, and he wanted nothing more than to take her on the spot. Whoosh! Right at that moment from the south came a noise. Then a chariot flew over. It did not come in a straight line. Instead it passed by. Whoosh! Behind the chariot came another chariot. The two chariots, one at the front and one at the back, carried two people. If Luli had not passed out, he would have recognized the four. What? The lady in the front chariot looked over with surprise. She did not look at Luli or the Fifth Tribulation warrior. Instead, she stared at the Holy King's daughter. There is something strange about this lady. An old man next to the woman glanced over and said curiously, "This woman isn't a living person, right? She is alive, but she has been dead for many years. She must have been possessed." Lady Chi. The old warrior looked at Luli, who was in a coma, and said, "It is that man. You helped him on the battleship." Yes, they were Fire Rose and her escort. The one following them was the young master of the Wu family. Fire Rose turned to Luli. She thought for a while and said, "Kai, save him." Whoosh! The old warrior dashed over at once. The Fifth Tribulation demon had been paying attention to Luli. Seeing Kai flying over, the Fifth Tribulation demon narrowed his eyes. Instead of killing Luli, he said in a deep voice, "I am Sun Shan Taoist. Do you want to be nosy?" "Piss off," Kai said coldly. A serrated saber appeared in his hand. He said coldly, "Leave the two of you here and piss off or die." Ha ha ha. Young Master Wu, who was on the chariot behind, had a rare opportunity to please Fire Rose. He laughed and flew over with the 5 Tribulations guards. He locked his eyes on Taoist Yang Shan and said, "I am Wu Yudao, Taoist Yang Shan? Do me a favor and leave the two of you here." Yang Shan Taoist was uncertain. He didn't mind leaving Luli behind, but he wanted the daughter of the Saint King. After a moment of hesitation, he said, "I can leave this man, but I must take the girl with me." "No," Kai answered coldly and firmly. The young master of the Wu family said with a smile, "See?" He said no. "If you keep hesitating, I will be angry." The young master of the Wu family was gentle but domineering. Yang Shan Taoist knew that Wu Yudao had mentioned his name. With the fifth tribulation warrior, he must be a young master of the Wu family. Yang Shan Taoist was not willing to accept the result, but he still let the daughter of the Saint King go. He cupped his fists and flew away. Kai flew down, trying to pick up Lu Li. The daughter of the Saint King flew down at once. She stayed by Lu Li's side and looked at Kai with alarm. "You are his slave, right?" Kai said emotionlessly. "Your master is in a coma. You cannot protect him anymore. Let's take him to a nearby city." Blood Fairy could not control the daughter of the Saint King to speak, but she could understand human language. She thought for a while and believed that these people would not hurt Lu Li, or else they would not have saved them. Kai picked Lu Li up, fed him a pellet and took him to the chariot. The daughter of the Saint King followed him and stood next to Lu Li. Ha ha! Fire Rose grinned at the daughter of the Saint King. The chariot flew on and soon vanished into the horizon. Wu Yudao said nothing. He controlled the chariot to follow. Chapter 2446. When Lu Li woke up, he was in the Dragon King city of the Dragon King Island. He had been sleeping for 5 days. When he woke up, he was weak. He used psychic power to check and found himself in a castle. Next to him was the daughter of the Saint King. Blood Fairy's voice sounded, "Master, you're awake." Lu Li did not move. He replied, "Blood Fairy, are we okay? Where are we?" "We have been saved." Blood Fairy replied, "The young lady on the battleship saved us. We are in a nearby city." "The young lady on the battleship?" Lu Li was surprised. He remembered Fire Rose. There were many girls on the battleship, but only Fire Rose could have saved him. Lu Li rested for a moment. He sat down and took out the elixir. Half a day later, he felt better. When he opened his eyes, he saw another person in the room. It was Fire Rose. Lu Li struggled to stand up. Fire Rose waved her hand and said, "Don't stand on ceremony. If I am right, you are a descendant of Saint Emperor Yen Tian, right?" "Saint Emperor Yen Tian?" Lu Li was confused. He thought about it and said, "I don't know which Saint Emperor it is, but she should be his daughter. The palace she lived in is called the Hall of Seven Note. She is dead. One of my goblins has taken over her body." "That's it." Fire Rose nodded. She looked at the daughter of the Saint Emperor and said, "You can let your goblins study more. Saint Emperor Yen Tian came from a powerful race from the ancient times. The body is well preserved. It should not be so weak. If you can study it thoroughly, the body can be as strong as a warrior at the peak of the fifth tribulation." Lu Li's heart skipped a beat. He looked at Fire Rose in a different light. How could this girl know so much? Judging by her behavior, she did not have any intention of taking the body of the daughter of the Saint Emperor. It seemed she did not like it. This girl must either be strong or she was born in a superfamily. Lu Li nodded. Fire Rose waved her hand. "I have to go. Take care." Lu Li stood up at once. "Young lady, may I ask your name? If I have the chance and I have the ability, I will repay your kindness." Fire Rose smiled faintly. When she reached the door, she turned around and said, "A name is just a code. Don't you call me Fire Rose? Just call me Fire Rose from now on. As for repaying the debt of gratitude, if we are fated, we will naturally meet again. If not, then don't force it." The lady left, leaving behind a fragrant house. Lu Li cupped his fists and then sat down with his legs crossed to continue his healing. Since this was the Dragon King city, safety was not a problem. He should heal his wounds first. After recuperating for several days, everything was indeed peaceful. Many people on the warships had also arrived at the Dragon King city. They were all gathered at the Heavenly Flame Islands branch, waiting for arrangements. There was still no news of the battle on Heavenly Scorching Island. No one knew which side had won that battle. After several days of treatment, Lu Li felt better. He went out and found a branch at the Scorching Island. The people of the Heavenly Flame Island gave them 2 choices. They could either wait in the Dragon King city. The Heavenly Flame Island would definitely send a warship over, and they could board it to the Soaring Fire continent. The second choice was compensation, according to a certain ratio. For example, Luli could pay half of the Divine Stones. Luli didn't need the Divine Stones. All he wanted was to arrive at the Soaring Fire continent safely. What happened to Yangshan Taoist made him understand the dangers of the Silver Flame Sea. Eventually, he decided to wait at the Dragon King Island. What gave him a headache was that the people of the Heavenly Flame Island branch did not know when the next warship would arrive. Due to the 3 people attacking the warship, the Heavenly Flame Island branch was in a state of chaos. The warships that left behind had all returned. Before the Scorching Island had a clear picture of the situation, they wouldn't act rashly. What if their warships were destroyed again and again? That would be a blow to the reputation of the Scorching Island. That being said, the branch was considerate. They arranged for Luli and the others to stay in a luxurious tavern. All the expenses were covered by them until the warships arrived. The Dragon King city was not one of the 5 forces, but the city master was famous. He was a notorious devil in the Silver Flame Sea called Demon Long. Once, this devil fought against 5 powerful warriors of the Lord Realm on his own. He killed 3 of them and made a name for himself. Later, this devil conquered the Dragon King city, married and had children. He built a big family here. Now, he cultivated himself and didn't fight with others. Of course, nobody dared to provoke him. Not even the 5 forces dared to provoke him. This devil had a powerful skill. If he was not killed at once, there would be endless troubles in the future. Today, there was a group of special guests in the city master's mansion. It was the 3rd son of the Demon Long, the city master of the Dragon King city. The guests were some patriarchs of the Wu family, and one of them was a patriarch with real power. Patriarch Wu Qing, how come you have time to come to the Dragon King Island? Long Gang, the 3rd son of the Demon Long, said with a smile after tea was served, "You must be here for something important." "Yes." Wu Qing nodded and said, "We are here to trouble you, City Master Long. We are here to capture a man. He is in the Dragon King city." Long Gang's expression grew solemn. He asked, "Do you have any information about this man? Are you sure he has entered the Dragon King city? Do you know where he is?" Wu Qing shook his head and said, "We only received news that the successor of the King of 1,000 Transformations has appeared. According to the information, this man should have entered the Dragon King city. That's why we are here to trouble you, City Master Long, the successor of the King of 1,000 Transformations." Long Gang's expression changed. He pondered for a moment and said, "You should know how cruel the King of 1,000 Transformations is. If he knows that we helped you kill his successor, it will bring endless troubles to the Dragon King Island. Moreover, you don't know where he is. If you wantonly search for him in the Dragon King city, it will affect the reputation of the city." Wu Qing and the other patriarchs' expressions turned ugly after hearing Long Gang's words. They came here to ask for Long Gang's help. Looking at the situation, not only did Long Gang not help them, but he also wanted to stop them. Long Gang took a sip of tea and said, "How about this? You search secretly and tell us when you take action. After you kill this man, cooperate with us. Don't expose your identity. I will send someone to capture you and then leave quietly. How about it?" Wu Qing and the others still had ugly expressions. Long Gang didn't give them much face. They were from the Wu clan and Yang Di stood behind them. However, Long Gang didn't give them face. What could they do? They couldn't make a scene in the city. It would anger old Demon Long. Although the Wu clan wasn't afraid, it wasn't in their interest. "Alright." Wu Qing stood up and said, "City Master Long's suggestion. Find this man first. Once you find him, take action immediately and try to kill him in seconds. Then we will surrender and leave quietly." Chapter 2447. Luli settled down in a tavern arranged by the Scorching Islands branch. It was a small castle for each person. Luli activated the inhibition formation and asked Blood Fairy to set up the runes. Judging by what the Scorching Island warriors said, it would be months or even a year before the Scorching Islands battleships would arrive. Therefore, Luli decided to cultivate for a while. The Silver Flames Sea was dangerous. He dared not to wander around on his own. Even the Scorching Islands battleships were attacked. If he were to run into another Mount Sun, he would not be so lucky. Not every time would Fire Rose come to his rescue. His soul was still weak. He needed some time to rest. While consuming the elixirs, Luli began to study the law of sound. He had been studying the formation of sound for a long time, but he did not make much progress. He knew that such a powerful law could not be learned overnight. If he was unlucky or had poor understanding, he might not be able to master it for the rest of his life. Blood Fairy began to study the body of the daughter of Holy King after she finished the 2 runes. Fire Rose said that the daughter of Holy King was not only as strong as she appeared to be. If she could learn it thoroughly, the daughter of Holy King could unleash her strongest abilities. She might be able to fight against the peak of the 5th tribulation. Holy King Yantian? He must have been a powerful holy king in the ancient times, a member of a special race. For now, the daughter of Holy King could only rely on her physical attacks. If she could release the skills of her race, she would be much more powerful. Blood Fairy was studying the ancient runes as well. Only by comprehending the primordial divine imprints would one be able to refine ancient treasures. That bugle horn was extremely powerful, and there was also that ancient painting. When Luli fought against Mount Sun, he did not use the painting because Mount Sun had been attacking from a distance. He was smart and cautious. The painting was strong, but it could only be used for defense, not offense. If Luli could take control of it, he might be able to release powerful skills. Soon, 5 days passed. It was peaceful outside. More and more people arrived at Dragon King City. They either received the divine stones as compensation or stayed in inns arranged by the people of Scorching Island. Patriarch Wu Qing and the others began a secret investigation. Their targets were those who disembarked from the battleships and arrived at the Dragon King City. This was easy. Basically, they could get the information by bribing the people in the taverns. Wu Qing and the others were eliminated one by one. Several days later, Luli was identified. Since Luli flew away from the battleship, he never changed his mask or makeup. Therefore, he was recognized easily. Even though they had found out, Wu Qing and the others didn't take action right away because the tavern Luli was staying in was run by the Scorching Island. The people of the Flaming Island branch lived next to the inn. Once there was any disturbance, the people here would know. The branch leader here was a 5th tribulation expert. Wu Qing was not afraid of this 5th tribulation expert. The 4 elders who came were all 5th tribulation experts, and his battle prowess was also very tyrannical. Wu Qing was confident that he could kill the experts from Heavenly Flame Island. The problem was that if he killed them, he would become enemies with Heavenly Flame Island. Heavenly Flame Island was also one of the 5 major forces. He could not make enemies with them so easily. Luli was living in there. It would be difficult for him to convince the Scorching Island warriors to cooperate with him. First of all, the Heavenly Scorching Island had a grudge against them. They might not necessarily give them face. Secondly, the Heavenly Scorching Island had just been in trouble. Their reputation was in crisis. If something were to happen again, how could the Heavenly Scorching Island establish itself in the Silver Flame Sea? Therefore, they could not do it openly. Otherwise, the Heavenly Scorching Island would not be able to step down. By then, they would have to fight with the Wu family. In the end, neither side would be able to step down. They could not do it openly. They had to do it secretly. Since the tavern was close to the branch, They must find a way to move the powerful warriors of the Scorching Island out of the city, no matter what. At least, the fifth tribulation warrior must be lured away. Wu Qing and the others discussed for several days and came up with several strategies. In the end, they chose the most reliable one, bribing the Scorching Island, spreading false information and luring the fifth tribulation warrior out of the city. As long as they were out of the city, everything else would be easy. The Wu family would kill Lu Li at once. According to the information they received, Lu Li was not particularly powerful. Even a warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation could hurt him. Anyone of Wu Qing and the others could kill him easily. The bribing went smoothly. They picked a target and made sure that he was the type that could be bought over easily. They gave him a large number of divine stones and promised him that as long as he escaped to the territory of the Wu family would protect him. That person was just a small fry at the Scorching Island, and he was greedy. The Wu family was a powerful force. Since the Wu family promised to protect him, then he had nothing to worry about. 10 days later, a piece of news almost blew the branch of the Scorching Island up. According to the news, a secret island near the Scorching Island was attacked by a group of people. That island was a place with resources and treasures of the Scorching Island that outsiders did not know about. How could the branch not be angry that the place was under attack? The branch leader gathered the powerful warriors here and gave them some instructions. Then, he flew up with his men and rushed out of the city. What is going on? How come all the warriors of the Scorching Island are gone? Did something happen again? Did some battleships come over and they were attacked again? What is going on at the Scorching Island recently? Is it an unlucky year or is someone trying to destroy them? Many people in the tavern were not cultivating. They noticed that something was not right at once. They began to discuss about it. The entire tavern was in an uproar. Blood Fairy had been monitoring the situation outside. When she noticed the noise in the tavern, she stopped searching for the daughter of the Saint King and paid close attention. Something is wrong. All of a sudden, Blood Fairy noticed that 2 people had sneaked into the tavern and were heading toward the castle where they were staying. Blood Fairy was alarmed by the murderous intent. She woke Lu Li up at once. "Master, some strangers are coming," Blood Fairy said. Lu Li activated the trace of Tao at once. He sensed that the 2 powerful warriors were approaching. Their energy was as profound as the ocean. Lu Li sensed that something was not right. No matter where they came from or what forces they were from, they must be here for Lu Li. Did someone from the Scorching Island go out all of a sudden? Was there a connection between the 2? Either way, Lu Li could not take the risk. He made up his mind at once. Run. Amidst the sparks, Lu Li made up his mind. He began to draw a formation in the void at once. At the same time, he said to Blood Fairy, "Deactivate the runes and deactivate the inhibition formations in the room." Blood Fairy would not disobey Lu Li's orders. She deactivated the runes and the inhibition formations at once. Lu Li finished drawing the formation in the void. He put away the daughter of the Saint King and let out the Phantom King. "Roar, roar!" the Phantom King bellowed. He leaped up and the castle fell apart. The Phantom King flew up to the sky and roared into the sky. Then, he dashed toward the 2 warriors coming at him. Sacrifice the rook to save the king. Lu Li had no other choice. There were 2 warriors of the 5th tribulation. If he did not let the Phantom King out, he would not be able to escape. The golden door would collapse. By then, Lu Li would be seriously injured or even killed. Buzzing. Chapter 2448. Woo, woo, woo! The Phantom King's roar resounded throughout the entire city. The Dragon King city was very big, and there were many experts and martial artists in the city. Countless people were alarmed by the roar. Many people were alerted by psychic power. The 2 Wu family warriors had to fight back. Their attacks were ferocious. After several moves, they killed Phantom Master. After all, they were warriors of the fifth tribulation. It was easy for them to kill Phantom Master. Violence was forbidden in the city. Now that someone was using force in the city and had attracted the attention of the entire city, the Long family had to respond. 7 or 8 powerful warriors flew out from several castles to the north and rushed over. Just as they had planned, the 2 patriarchs of the Wu family surrendered and went back with them. They had to go back because the powerful warriors of the Scorching Island would be back soon. By then, the Scorching Island would know who they were. They were not afraid of the Scorching Island's branch because the Scorching Island's warriors were much more powerful. However, once the matter was brought to light, the Scorching Island would demand an explanation from the Wu family. He got away? Patriarch Wu Qing had been hiding nearby. At that moment, they were distracted by Phantom Master. By the time they went to check on Lu Li, the golden door had disappeared. Patriarch Wu Qing regretted. He should have attacked by force. The patriarchs smashed the castle so Lu Li had no time to fly away. The Wu family knew about the void traversal skill very well. It was a skill that was amazing, but it could only be activated for one breath. If they attacked before it was activated, Lu Li would not be able to escape. They had thought that Lu Li had activated the inhibition formation and that he was in closed-door cultivation. But they heard that Lu Li was injured. What was more, this was the territory of the Scorching Island. That was why they decided to sneak up and kill him. Little did they expect that Lu Li would notice and fly away in advance. Go! Wu Qing and Patriarch Wu didn't care about the 2 captured warriors anymore. The Long family wouldn't make things difficult for them. They left the city quickly and ran toward the north. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As soon as Wu Qing and Patriarch Wu Qing left the island, the powerful warriors of the Scorching Island came back. On their way back, they were informed that the Resource Island was not under attack. The branch master knew that they had been lured away and hurried back. As expected, as soon as he returned, he found out that 2 mysterious rankers had entered the inn. Fortunately, they had only killed 1 beast, and there were no casualties. The branch leader of the Heavenly Flame Island went to the city lord's mansion to see who was so daring. How dare they cause trouble in the Heavenly Flame Island branch? They even dared to lure them away. Who knew that when they arrived at the city lord's mansion, they would be informed that the 2 of them had released an extremely powerful sacred art. They didn't pay attention to it for a moment and allowed the 2 of them to escape with their blood escape. The branch leader of the Heavenly Flame Island Division was enraged. He was not an idiot. Naturally, he knew that there was something fishy going on. Especially when the experts of the Dragon King City went over, the 2 of them immediately surrendered, and then they were told that the 2 had escaped. Only a fool would believe that there was no conspiracy behind this. However, Heavenly Scorching Island had been unstable recently, so nothing major had happened in the inn. Only a battle beast had been slain and a castle had been destroyed. Since they hadn't fallen out with each other and Heavenly Scorching Island had managed to keep its face, the branch leader didn't pursue the matter further. He was very clear about one thing. To be able to mobilize the Long family to cooperate with them, it must be a superpower. They lured the tiger away from the mountain so that they wouldn't fall out with him. Such being the case, there was no point in dragging this matter on. Otherwise, both sides would be embarrassed. Of course, the branch leader would investigate this matter in secret. Once it was clear, they would demand an explanation and some benefit. Whoosh! Wu Qing and the 3 patriarchs flew toward the north, searching for Lu Li. At the same time, they sent messages to all the nearby Wu family, their affiliated forces, and the small forces that were on good terms with them. They spread out a wide net to search for Lu Li. The crippled Zen master had killed many warriors of the Wu family. Now that his successor had come to the Silver Flame Sea, how could the Wu family not hunt him down? What happened in the past aside, what good could the successor of the King of Thousand Changes be doing here? He must be here to make trouble or to seek revenge. The Wu family was the king of the central part of the Silver Flame Sea. It could even be said that the Wu family was the most powerful force in the entire Silver Flame Sea. Back then, Sunlight Emperor became famous after he killed Emperor Z. Nobody dared to challenge him at the Silver Flame Sea. Since the family patriarch was the most powerful, the Wu family would be the most powerful as well. The Wu family was influential in the Silver Flame Sea as well. Many small families attached themselves to the Wu family for protection. As Wu Qing's orders spread out, many families and forces nearby swarmed to search for Lu Li in an area with a radius of hundreds of millions of miles. It was the first time Lu Li flew across the void. He was not noticed. He did not stop and flew away again. When he flew out of the void for the third time, he was discovered by the nearby scouts. It is the successor of the King of Thousand Changes. It just so happened that there was a team of warriors nearby. Seeing Lu Li coming out from the void, they screamed and dashed toward Lu Li. Lu Li pulled a long face. Judging by their tone, they were here to hunt him down. He did not continue to fly through the void. His body flashed and he rushed over, raising his fist and smashing it. Boom, 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 only 8 warriors came over, all of them at the third tribulation. Lu Li killed 7 of them with one punch and grabbed the last one. Lu Li shouted coldly, "Who told you to hunt me down? I will make you wish you were dead if you don't tell me." Ha ha ha. The warrior was tough. He laughed and said, "I don't mind telling you. The Wu family has sent a message. The entire central region of the Silver Flame Sea is searching for you. You cannot get away. Just wait for your death." Wu family? Sunlight. Lu Li's heart was weighed down. He knew about the feud between Sunlight and Emperor Z, and how the crippled Zen master killed many warriors of the Wu family. Lu Li was once worried that the Wu family would come after him. He was the only one who could fly in the void. What he didn't expect was that the day had come so soon. Bang! After smashing him away, Lu Li continued to fly across the void. Before the net was set up and before the Wu family sent a large group of powerful warriors over, he should keep flying and try to get as far away as he could. He didn't fly to the north. The Wu family must have learned that he was going to the flying fireland on the battleship of the Scorching Island. Therefore, the Wu family must have stationed many scouts and powerful warriors at the north. Lu Li chose to fly to the northwest. He had made up his mind that as long as he ran into scouts and warriors, he would kill them all. He could not tarnish the reputation of the crippled Zen master. Also, he wanted to send a message to the small families and forces that if they wanted to help the Wu family hunt him down, they would have to pay the price. He was right. Along the way, he would run into scouts and warriors. As soon as Lu Li saw them, he would kill them all. During the 3 days, Lu Li flew across the void dozens of times and killed more than 3,000 warriors. The ocean nearby was dyed red. Chapter 2449. Back in the days, Emperor Z caused quite a stir in the Silver Flame Sea. After he became an emperor, Emperor Z wandered around the third heaven, looking for treasured lands to refine his body. He wanted to reach the Saint King realm. Emperor Z was short-tempered. He entered a land of treasured lands in the Silver Flame Sea where there were powerful flames of destruction. But it was also a land of resources that could nurture many elixirs. That was the territory of the Wu family. Emperor Z hid his identity and talked to the warriors of the Wu family. He wanted to go there and refine his body. He promised the Wu family some divine stones and treasures. The Wu family was a family of emperors. They had always been overbearing in the Silver Flame Sea. How could they allow Emperor Z to go there? There were many elixirs in there. When Emperor Z revealed his identity, the Patriarch of the Guards was still arrogant. He thought Emperor Z was using his power to oppress others and wanted to take away their land. They started to quarrel. Emperor Z killed in a fit of anger. Once someone died, the two sides could not be reconciled. Later on, a war broke out. In the end, Sunlight and another emperor killed Emperor Z. The crippled Zen master was one of Emperor Z's generals. There were 5 other generals. Hearing that Emperor Z was killed, the 6 of them dashed into the Silver Flame Sea and started a killing spree. The 5 of them were all killed. Only the crippled Zen master managed to escape by using the void traversing technique. The crippled Zen master had also killed countless warriors and experts. During that time, the entire Silver Flame Sea was covered with dead bodies. At least tens of millions were injured or dead, including countless powerful warriors. It had been many years since the incident. The crippled Zen master never showed up again. Many people thought he was dead. That being said, the master of 1,000 transformations was still famous in the Silver Flame Sea. Back in the days, he was a man that even Sunlight could not track down. The master of 1,000 transformations was famous. He once snuck into the base camp of the Wu family and left after a killing spree. After such a long time, the descendant of the master of 1,000 transformations showed up. The news spread across the Silver Flame Sea. Many families that held grudges against the crippled Zen master swarmed toward the central region. They wanted to nail his descendant to the Cliff of Sins and make him a companion of Emperor Z. News of Lu Li's bloody massacre spread out. In just 10 days, more than 10,000 scouts and warriors that went after Lu Li had lost their lives. All the warriors that encountered Lu Li were killed if they were not powerful enough. Powerful warriors could not travel all over the world. They would only stay in one place. Naturally, the ones searching the world were average warriors and scouts. They could not stop Lu Li. Lu Li's bloody massacre did not frighten the small families and forces in the central region. Instead, they were enraged. The Silver Flame Sea region was in a mess and people were tough. The more Lu Li killed, the angrier they would be. What was more, the crippled Zen master had slaughtered on a large scale. They were worried that if they didn't kill Lu Li would seek revenge. By that time, Lu Li could make his way to their forces and families, which could lead to their annihilation. The Wu family sent out an announcement. Anyone who could kill Lu Li would be rewarded with a fragment of a holy weapon, billions of divine stones, and a chance to enter the primitive mystery realm. After this news spread out, many old demons in the Silver Flame Sea region went crazy. Holy weapon fragments were nothing. In ancient times, when the third heaven changed and all the holy emperors were wiped out, hundreds of holy weapons were shattered, and there were plenty of holy weapon fragments in the sea. The old demons had plenty of divine stones. They could kill some people and ransack some small forces. What drove the old demons crazy was the chance to enter the primitive mystery realm. The primitive mystery realm was the most powerful one. Even though the emperors did not occupy it, the old demons did not have the chance to go in. The emperors had set the rule that only those below 10,000 years old could go in. Every year, the major forces would have a small number of spots. Now, in order to kill Lu Li, the Wu family was willing to give up one spot? Many of the old demons were stuck. If they could go into the primitive mystery realm, they might be able to make a breakthrough. Many old demons swarmed toward the area where Lu Li appeared. The Wu family didn't send out too many powerful warriors, only 10 patriarchs including Wu Qing. After all, Lu Li was just the successor of the Lord of 1,000 transformations. The Wu family would not send out too many powerful warriors. Neither would Sunlight Emperor. That would be a disgrace to Lu Li. It was said that Lu Li was only a warrior of the fourth tribulation. The Wu family had shown enough respect by sending out 10 patriarchs. As a super family, the Wu family had demonstrated its influence. Anything they could offer could drive many old demons crazy. Lu Li felt the pressure. He had killed many people recently. That being said, every time he flew out from the void, he would be surrounded by people. Even though they were just some minor warriors and scouts, there were more of them. Lu Li was troubled. There were too many warriors in the Silver Flame Sea. He could not kill them all. It was not important whether he could kill them or not. What was important was that his whereabouts would be tracked down. In that case, the Wu family could easily set up traps nearby. As more powerful warriors came, the chances of him running into more powerful warriors would increase as well. Should I find a dangerous place to hide? Lu Li thought of the Cursed Land. If there was a dangerous place nearby, he could hide there. The thing was, he didn't know much about the Silver Flame Sea. I will find someone to interrogate him. Lu Li made up his mind. Once again, he flew into the void. There happened to be 4 warriors nearby. Lu Li killed 3 of them and took the last one into the separation bead. That warrior said coldly with pride, "Successor of the Lord of Thousand Transformations, you cannot run away. There are old demons all around. They are from the central region and they are searching for you. You will be captured soon and you will be crucified on the Cliff of Sins. The Wu family has posted a reward. You cannot escape death even if you run to the ends of the world." Buzzing, Lu Li didn't want to waste his time. He released the worms of the void. After a moment, the warrior was on his knees, begging for mercy. Lu Li told him about the Wu family and the nearby areas. Boom! Lu Li killed the warrior and flew to the east. He wanted to go to a dangerous place to see if he could hide for a while. Emperor Z once went there. For most people, it was a dangerous place, but for Lu Li, it could be a land of treasure. Of course, the premise was that Lu Li could survive. That place also had the flames of destruction, but there were fewer of them. Later, Emperor Z found the land of treasure of the Wu family. The flames of destruction was one of the most horrifying flames in the world. It was said that the flames of destruction fell from the sky and the temperature was frightening. Not even lords dared to go to the central area of the flames of destruction. Only those of the Emperor realm could stay there. Lu Li had been looking for such a land of treasure. Now that so many old demons were after him, he flew to the void without any hesitation. He changed his direction and managed to avoid the powerful warriors at the north. Lu Li had been heading toward the northwest, which was filled with old demons and scouts. There were fewer warriors at the east. Chapter 2450. The Blazing Island was famous in the Silver Flame Sea. It was a famous dangerous place. Apart from emperors, nobody dared to go to the center of the island. It was said that there were supreme elixirs in the center of the island. Thousands of years ago, an emperor once went there and obtained some. It had only been a few thousand years. Even the elixirs hadn't matured yet. Was that why nobody had gone in all these years? Was it a suicide mission? Lu Li's sudden change of direction had rendered the trap set up by the old demons useless. By the time they realized it and teleported to the Blazing Island, it was already too late. Lu Li's speed was fast. The distance was not that far. After dozens of rounds, Lu Li had arrived at the Blazing Island. Before he got close to the Blazing Island, Lu Li already felt the temperature was rising. He saw a black dot in the distance, at least tens of thousands of miles away. If the temperature here was already so high, how high would the temperature be around here? There was white mist nearby. Clearly, the seawater nearby was evaporating. Therefore, there were waves surging toward the Blazing Island because the seawater there was evaporating. Lu Li flew over quickly. With so many old demons coming from the center of the Silver Flame Sea, Lu Li didn't dare to fly away. He was lucky that he didn't run into any old demons. Good luck would not last forever. If he kept flying, he would only end up dead. After the time for one incense stick to burn, Lu Li arrived at the periphery of the Blazing Island. He had a clear view of the island. It was a large island with a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles. There were no flowers or trees on the island, only flames. The entire island was enveloped in flames. Looking from afar, the island looked like a huge fireball. The flames at the periphery rose to a height of more than 2 miles, enveloping the entire island. The outermost flames were blue and the color was very deep, so the entire island looked very gorgeous, like a beautiful giant blue rose. Luli and the scout learned something about the blazing island. There were 6 colors of flames on the island. The flames at the center were more terrifying. The black flames at the center were the flames of destruction. Even Emperor Z was searching for the flames to refine his body. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the flames were. Luli stood at the periphery of the blue flames. He was hesitating. Standing at the periphery, he felt hot and his back was drenched in sweat. The power of the flames was not to be underestimated. It was impossible for him to enter the deepest part. He would be thankful if he could enter the 4th or 5th layer. Could the 4th and 5th layers of flames stop those old demons? What if a Lord-level old demon came? More importantly, Luli sensed that the space inside the blazing island was not fluctuating. The space was not stable. He was afraid that he could not fly across the void after he went in. While Luli was wandering around the island, the space in the distance began to tremble. Luli looked up and saw a black gate. Without any hesitation, he dashed into the island like an arrow. As soon as he stepped into the area of blue flames, Luli's hair, beard and armor were on fire. His skin was burning as well. But his body was not burned. The flames on the outside could not hurt him. Someone has entered the island. It should be the 1,000 transformations inheritor. Chase after him and kill him. The portal was opened. Wuqing came out with several patriarchs. By the time they came out, Luli had just entered the island. Usually, people wouldn't go to the blazing island to suffer for no reason. They checked with psychic power but could not tell Luli's realm, which meant that he was wearing the 1,000 transformations mask. Luli moved at a moderate pace. Soon, he crossed the area of blue flames and entered the area of orange flames. The temperature here was much higher. Luli's armor could not stand it any longer. He was only wearing a pair of fire-resistant shorts. He strode on barefoot. The flames here were burning his skin, but they were not enough to hurt him. He marched on. In the time for more than a dozen breaths, he arrived at the 3rd layer of flames. The flames here had turned red, dark red. As soon as Luli went in, he was swallowed up by the flames. Hiss hiss, this time, Luli could not stand it anymore. The flames began to burn his body. Black smoke rose from him and he smelled burnt flesh. During this time, Luli had consumed hundreds of elixirs and his physical body had improved a lot. In the Hall of 7 Tones, he had been burned for a long time. His body had become resistant to fire. Not even a warrior at the later stage of the 4th Tribulation Realm was as strong as Luli's. How strong could the flames that could burn him be? Even though he was being burned, Luli did not stop. The flames could only hurt him, not kill him. His body was repairing itself. If he could not, he could take some healing pellets to survive. He moved on. He saw the purple flames up ahead. This time, he did not go in rashly. He believed that he would be burned to death if he did not use the dragon-weaving skill. Not even a warrior at the 5th Tribulation could stand the flames for long. Luli sat with his legs crossed at the edge, healing himself. The fact that the flames could burn him was actually helping him to refine his body. He believed that as long as he could hang on for a while, he would be able to stand the red flames. By then, his body would be improved. Luli activated the trace of Tao and waited quietly. He believed that those who opened the spatial gate must be here to hunt him down. He was waiting for them to come in. Buzzing, Luli tried to use the heaven separation bead to let the daughter of Saint King out. As he had expected, the space here was trembling so much that the interspatial artifact could not be used. He tried to draw a formation in the void, but the golden door could not take shape. He could not fly in the void. Whoosh! Not long afterward, 6 people came. All of them dashed into the blazing island. Wu Qing and the other patriarchs had locked onto Lu Li with psychic power. 6 warriors at the 5th tribulation, and one of them is as strong as Dan Jiudeng. Lu Li complained to himself. The Emperor's family was resourceful. They could send out warriors at the 5th tribulation. That being said, in a super family like this, to become a patriarch, one must be at least at the 5th tribulation. Before the 5 came, Lu Li used the dragon weaving skill and dashed into the area of purple flames. As soon as he was in, he was on fire. He was trembling because of the pain. He almost fell to the ground. It was fortunate that he had used the dragon weaving skill. Otherwise, he would have been incinerated immediately. The dragon weaving skill could not last long. Lu Li was complaining because Wu Qing and the others had arrived at the area of red flames. If they came in and could stand the flames, Lu Li would have to die. Wu Qing and the others didn't come in. They stood in the area of red flames, their eyes flickering and their faces filled with surprise. A patriarch murmured, "He can stand the purple flames? Is he a descendant of Emperor Z? Is he from the Yin family?" Chapter 2451. Dragon Controlling Skill? Wu Qing thought. Emperor Z's skills were well known. Lu Li could not have mastered an immortal body, or else, how could someone at the peak of the 4th tribulation hurt him? There could only be one explanation: that Lu Li could survive such strong flames. He had learned dragon controlling skill. Lu Li was the successor of the Master of 1,000 Transformations, and the Master of 1,000 Transformations worked for Emperor Z. In that case, Lu Li could be a descendant of the Yin family. It was understandable that he had learned Emperor Z's dragon controlling skill. Dragon controlling skill has a time limit, right? Wu Qing murmured and said coldly, "We will wait outside. I want to see how long he can stay in the purple flames." The patriarchs nodded. They had no other choice but to stay in the area of red flames. They dared not to go into the area of purple flames. Spread out. Everyone take a direction. Do not let him escape from other directions. Wu Qing waved his hand. They could survive the area of red flames. It was a bit painful, but compared to killing Lu Li, it was nothing. The island was large. But this was the 3rd layer of flames. It was not a large area. The patriarchs had strong psychic power. If they spread out and patrolled, Lu Li would not be able to escape. The patriarchs spread out and wandered around. Lu Li sensed this and complained to himself. His petrifying dragon art could only last for an hour. Once the petrifying dragon art's duration was up, he would become extremely weak and would definitely be burned to death by the flames. Whoosh! Lu Li wandered around trying to figure out a way. However, he could not enter interspatial artifacts or fly. The outside was locked down and he could not escape. What could he do? Blood Fairy, do you have any way to build fire-repelling runes? Lu Li asked. Blood Fairy answered, regular flames can work. But the flames here are horrifying. I do not have the ability yet. What about the ancient artifacts? Lu Li thought about it and tried to take out the ancient treasures. However, he could not take out any of them. He could not even use his interspatial ring here, let alone an interspatial artifact. Lu Li had no other choice. He had to move on and explore to see if there was a strange area where he could hide from the flames. What? All of a sudden, Lu Li was taken aback. He saw a group of ants crawling in and out of a tree stump. There are ants here? Lu Li was amazed. How come the stump was not burned down? Even a 5th tribulation expert couldn't withstand such a domineering flame, so how could this tree stump withstand it? Lu Li ran over and grabbed an ant. The ant was only as thick as a pinky finger. When Lu Li grabbed it, the ant opened its mouth and bit Lu Li's palm. What a strong ant! Lu Li was secretly amazed. He activated his great Tao trace and found that the ants' bodies were filled with surging fire elemental energy. When they opened their mouths just now, flames came out. A bold idea came to Lu Li's mind. There was so much fire energy in the ant. Would eating it directly make him more resistant to fire? This ant could actually survive in the purple fire? If he ate some ants, would he be able to resist the flames? Ruthlessness appeared in Lu Li's eyes. He grabbed the ant, smashed it to death and threw it into his mouth. Then he closed his eyes and chewed hard. The ant's defense was not strong. Lu Li bit it and swallowed it. Soon, Lu Li screamed. He grabbed his neck and rolled on the ground. He felt like he was thrown into a pot of boiling oil. His internal organs were being burned by a powerful flame. Bang! Bang! He kept rolling on the ground, screaming and roaring. It was a tragic sight. Wu Qing and the others outside could not see what was going on inside. Psychic power was restricted in the purple fire area. They were overjoyed to hear Lu Li's roars. So, Lu Li could not stand the purple fire? Was he going to be burned to death? Lu Li rolled on the ground for the time for half an incense stick to burn before he finally lay on his stomach and gasped for air. Fear still lingered in his eyes. If he hadn't released the dragon skill, he would have been burned to death by that domineering fire elemental energy. What? Lu Li suddenly reached out his hand. The burnt flesh on his hand was recovering. The energy in the fire ants had healing effects. Eat! He was overjoyed as if he had fallen off a cliff and saw a rope. He grabbed 2 ants, smashed them to death and swallowed them. Then he rolled on the ground again, screaming. What? Wu Qing and the others heard Lu Li's screams again. They were surprised. Just now, when Lu Li's screams died down, they all thought he was dead. Little did they expect that he would scream again. This time, after the time for half an incense stick to burn, Lu Li stopped breathing again. After a while, Lu Li screamed again. Wu Qing and the others looked at each other in confusion. What was Lu Li doing in there? He could scream so many times, but he was still alive. Everyone had a bad feeling. Could Lu Li stand the flames in there? Time moved on. Lu Li had eaten 10 ants at one time. As more ants were eaten, Lu Li's pain was not so severe. He was pleasantly surprised to find that his body that was burned by the flames was recovering. The fire ants did not have powerful energy that could heal his wounds. Lu Li began to eat fire ants desperately after he realized this. He ate dozens of them at one time. Luckily, fire ants kept crawling out from the tree stump. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many fire ants for him to eat. After eating more than 100 fire ants, Lu Li found that his internal organs were more resistant to the fire ant. His physical body seemed to be stronger as well. Seeing that the time limit of the dragon entanglement was about to run out, Lu Li was getting anxious. Even though he had eaten many fire ants, he felt he could not stand the purple flames yet. His dragon skill had strengthened his body by dozens of times. When the weakened period of the dragon's skill was over, his body would be dozens of times weaker. How could he stand the purple flames? Lu Li turned his eyes to the tree stump. This tree stump seemed to be the nest of the fire ant. Perhaps the fire ants had eaten the tree stumps to survive in there? Whoosh! Lu Li flew over and arrived at the tree stump. His hands turned into claws and he scratched at the tree stump. A muffled sound came out. Lu Li felt he had grabbed onto cold iron. If it were a regular tree, Lu Li would have crushed it. How could this tree stump be so hard? Hoi! Lu Li clenched his fists. Energy surged out from the 720 acupoints in his body. Lu Li smashed at a corner of the tree stump. Boom! This time, a corner of the tree stump was knocked off. Lu Li grabbed it at once and tried to bite it. However, 2 of his teeth fell out. The wood was too hard for him to bite through. Lu Li took it out and tried to melt it down with divine energy. This time it worked. He used divine energy and the wood melted down. It turned into strands of energy that entered Lu Li's body. This time Lu Li was in a worse state. He felt a surge of overbearing energy entering his body and rampaging around inside. It was more like a ball of fire was trying to burn Luli. Chapter 24:52. This time, Luli rolled on the ground for the time for one incense stick to burn. His period of weakness was coming to an end. He had not made it. However, he could not worry about that now. He smashed another piece of wood with his fist, consumed it quickly, and started to roll on the ground again. Finally, the period of weakness was over. Luli felt the energy in his body was gone, as if his strength had been sucked away. From his soul came a strong sense of weakness. He could not stand it any more. He rolled his eyes and passed out. Before he passed out, his last thought was that the tree stump would work or he would be burned to death. As soon as he passed out, black smoke rose from his body, and then he was on fire. His body could not withstand such an overbearing flame, and his whole body began to burn. Buzzing, right at that moment, the energy from the wood pieces turned into dragons of fire that swam around in Luli's body. His burnt body was healing bit by bit. The fire burned Luli's body over and over again, and then the energy from the wood pieces healed him. The energy of the fire ants that he consumed came out as well. Every time Luli's body was damaged, the energy would come out to heal him. Over and over again, Luli was hovering between life and death. He was saved over and over again. His body seemed to be strengthened as well. Just like when he was in the Hall of Seven Sounds, every time he was wounded, his body would grow stronger as long as he could be healed. The fire was burning and the energy in Luli's body was being consumed. After an hour, Luli's energy finally ran out. The flames began to burn Luli. Soon, his body was beyond recognition. When he was about to be burned to death, the dragon's soul in his soul lit up. Luli's soul had woken up at that moment. He could not feel the pain all over his body. Not even his soul could feel the pain. He came back to his senses at once. Using all his strength, he grabbed more than a dozen ants, crushed them and threw them into his mouth. A surge of energy flowed into his body. Luli's body that was almost burnt to ashes began to heal again. Only now did Luli feel the pain. He was about to pass out again because of the sharp pain in his soul. I cannot pass out or I will die for sure. Luli had this thought in his soul. He tried his best to hold on with his strong willpower. The strong willpower that he had honed for many years finally worked. He actually withstood the intense pain and did not faint. Again and again, the flames burned and Luli was healed. Once again, he felt the hellish torment. But as long as he could live, this suffering was nothing to him. He had endured this kind of suffering countless times before. Hold on, I want to live. Luli murmured to himself over and over again, trying his best to hold on. When the energy in his body was almost used up, he immediately grabbed more than a dozen ants and swallowed them. The ants didn't just pop up, they were endless. Every once in a while, Luli would catch some ants and eat them. This was just enough to keep him alive. However, it was not easy to recover from the weakness in his soul. Without any spirit medicine, he could not fall into a deep sleep. If he wanted to slowly recover like this, it would take at least 10 days to half a month. Outside, Wu Qing and the others were losing their patience. They were sure that Luli was still alive because they could sense some life in the flames. Luli was the only one in there. There was a breath of life inside, which meant that Luli was still alive. Wu Qing and the others had to wait in there. They would not be seriously injured in the flames, but they would be slightly injured. The flames were burning and they were suffering as well. Days passed by. Soon, 5 days had passed by. Luli was still alive. He was like a cockroach standing upright. He just wouldn't die. Let's go. Wu Qing thought about it and sent a message to the other patriarch. Since the Asmodeans were nearby, it was not worthwhile for them to suffer here. Luli could not run away anyway. They could just stay outside and guard. The few of them flew out. Sure enough, there were martial artists gathered outside. There were even 2 Fifth Tribulation old demons here. As soon as Wu Qing and the others went out, a group of warriors came over. That punk is in there, but he is in the area covered by purple flames. If any of you can bring his body out, the Wu family's promise will be kept. Wu Qing took a healing pellet and flew away. He sat on an island nearby with his legs crossed. The other patriarchs went to nearby islands or reefs to sit with their legs crossed. Each patriarch would keep watch in one direction to make sure that Lu Li could not fly out. There were more from the Wu family. Wu Qing told them to wander around the island and check with psychic power in case Lu Li came out. The space on the blazing island was unstable. It was impossible to fly. As long as Lu Li didn't come out, he would not be able to run away. Let me go in and have a look. A red-haired old man rushed in. Killing Lu Li could earn him a chance to enter the primitive region. Even though the flames on the blazing island were horrifying, it was worth the risk. The red-haired old man was not bad. He rushed into the red flames at once and sensed Lu Li's location. He didn't rush in rashly. Instead, he locked onto Lu Li and began to attack. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He released a strong gust of wind toward Lu Li. The gust of wind broke through and hit Lu Li. Lu Li was hit at once. There were several holes on his body. Whoosh! He patted with one hand and flew up. He hid behind a tree stump. All the attacks landed on the stump. That old warrior made several moves. Sensing that he could not hit Lu Li, he made up his mind. He activated a bead in his hand. Rays of light enveloped him. Hoi! He shouted and dashed into the purple flames. However, as soon as he went in, his body was ablaze. He screamed in pain and retreated quickly. Even Wu Qing was afraid to go in. This old warrior was much weaker than Wu Qing. Naturally, he would not be able to survive. Screaming, he dashed out and fell into the sea. He was still rolling around, screaming. How, some warriors of the Fourth Tribulation wanted to go in and see if they could kill Lu Li. But now, none of them dared to move. Not even a warrior of the Fifth Tribulation could survive. Average warriors would be courting death if they went in. Let me have a try. Another Fifth Tribulation old devil gritted his teeth and rushed in. The others waited expectantly. After a while, this old devil also rushed out. His whole body was charred. Someone! Wu Qing shouted after some thoughts. A warrior of the Wu family rushed to the island. Wu Qing ordered, "Send out the news that the successor of 1,000 transformations is in the purple flame area of the blazing island. Anyone who is not afraid of the fire can go in and kill him. Wu family will reward you immediately." Yes. That warrior rushed to a nearby island and teleported to the big island. Then, he sent the news back to the Wu family. The Wu family would use their own channels to spread the news. In a few days, the news would be spread across the Silver Flame Sea. Do you think we can't do anything to you if you hide in the purple flame area? Chapter 24:53. 5 or 6 days later, there were more than 1,000 warriors gathered at the blazing island. Among them, there were 18 warriors of the Fifth Tribulation. Lord Realm warriors of the Sixth Tribulation didn't show up. After all, they didn't want to work for the Wu family. If some of the Lord Realm warriors asked, the major families would give them some face and give them a spot. As a matter of fact, it was pointless for warriors of the Lord Realm to go into these secret areas. Their main purpose was to understand the truth and the most fundamental profound meaning in heaven and earth. Only in this way could they reach the Emperor Realm. It was said that the Emperor Realm was recognized by heaven and earth and could control the fundamental energy in heaven and earth. With a raise of his hand, heaven and earth could collapse, mountains and rivers could be destroyed, and the sea could turn into mulberry fields. Lord Realm warriors could reach the Emperor Realm with one more step. Therefore, there was no need for them to go into the secret areas. More than 10 warriors came and all of them went in. But none of them could get into the area where Luli was. Those who went in would come out soon. They couldn't last long. None of the more than 10 warriors cultivated in fire. Even though some of them were strong, they couldn't stand the burning of the purple fire. They came out after the time for a few breaths. After several days of recovery, Luli was not so weak anymore. He could use the dragon's skill, albeit barely. That being said, if he used the dragon's skill now, he would be even weaker after the period of weakness. He would definitely pass out. Therefore, Luli didn't move. He stayed behind the tree stump and kept an eye on the surroundings. If any warriors came, he would go into the depths of the purple fire area. Fortunately, none of the more than 10 warriors could stand the flames. He had already eaten an uncountable number of fire ants, at least thousands of them. Now, his resistance to the purple fire was very strong. Although the purple fire was still burning him, the fire ant's energy would quickly heal his body. He had smashed more than a dozen pieces of wood from the tree stump, but he didn't consume them. He was saving them for his own survival. Those pieces of wood were purer than the energy of the fire ants. If it weren't for the fact that Luli's interspatial ring couldn't be used, he would have dug out the tree stump and put it in. He put the more than a dozen pieces of wood into his pants pocket. The leather pants were fire-resistant treasures. The fact that they weren't burned by such strong flames had saved Luli's dignity. Otherwise, he would be rolling around on the ground naked, which would be very indecent. Get me a few more pieces. Luli used divine energy to smash at the corner of the stump. Soon, he smashed out more pieces of wood. Holding the pieces of wood in his hand, he sat on the ground to cultivate. Every now and then, he would grab some fire ants to eat. There should be a super big ant nest underground. Luli had caught so many fire ants, but there were still more coming out. Another 2 days passed, and 3 silhouettes flew over from the northern sky. The 3 of them were as fast as the wind, and their auras were that of peerless ferocious beasts, causing people to feel suffocated from afar. Another 3? On the island, Wu Qing opened his eyes. There were 2 patriarchs of the Wu family with him. The island was surrounded by people. Luli couldn't fly away even if he had wings. When the 3 of them flew over, someone from the Wu family immediately went to greet them. They chatted politely with the 3 of them and explained the situation inside. Purple flame area? A slightly chubby old man said with a smile. I've entered the purple flame area decades ago. Although I can't last long in there, it should be enough time to kill one person, right? A glint of light flickered in the eyes of a leader of the Wu family. He said in a deep voice, Patriarch Lei, you are proficient in the law of fire. That is wonderful. With your help, that punk will be captured easily. I wish you success in advance. Ha ha ha. Demon Lei laughed and said carelessly, back in the days, the King of Thousand Changes and a senior of mine held some grudges against each other. His descendant dared to stir up trouble in the Silver Flame Sea. Of course, we cannot sit by and do nothing. Take a seat. In an hour, I will bring out that punk's head to go with your drink. Old Demon Lei was wearing a very thick robe. With a flick of his wide sleeves, he rushed into Blazing Island. People outside the island were excited. Some old demons went in as well, eager to see how Demon Lei would kill Luli. On the off chance that Demon Lei didn't kill Luli and escaped, they would have a chance to reap the benefit. The Wu family didn't care how much effort was put in. Whoever could bring out Luli's body would be rewarded by the Wu family. Demon Lei rushed in quickly and soon arrived at the area of red flames. He walked around and sensed Luli's qi and energy. Another demon is here. Luli had been using the trace of Tao to sense. Demon Lei's qi and energy were so strong that Luli could sense it easily. Demon Lei had been coming in so Luli wasn't worried. Of course, he was still paying attention. He used the trace of Tao at all times to keep an eye on the situation outside. Whoosh! Old Demon Lay rushed in. A black light barrier appeared outside his body and enveloped his entire body. When he entered the purple flame area, the black light barrier actually expanded and pushed the purple flames away. Oh no! Lu Li sensed something was wrong. This man had skills to avoid fire. Without hesitation, Lu Li picked up the pieces of wood and ran to the distance. Ha ha ha! Demon Lay laughed. He dashed over and said with mockery, "Punk, stop struggling. Since the forefather is here to capture you, you should surrender. It will be your honor to die in the hands of the forefather." Bah! Lu Li spat. He sped up and dashed into the depths of the area of purple flames. Lu Li would rather die in the hands of Demon Lay than to be burned alive in the more horrifying area of flames. By then, his body would be nailed to the cliff of sins, which would be a disgrace to the crippled Zen master. Demon Lay was so fast that he reached Lu Li in an instant. Lu Li made up his mind to release the dragon-absorbing skill. At the same time, he used the Slayer's move. Swish! For a fifth tribulation warrior, the Slayer's move was like a child's play. That being said, there was one good thing about the Slayer's move. When the move was released, it would affect the force in heaven and earth around and suppress the enemy along with the ray of sword light. For a fifth tribulation warrior, the force in heaven and earth was weak. But when the force in heaven and earth was activated, it would attract the flames nearby. Therefore, as soon as the Slayer's move was released, the purple flames swarmed over. The flames in the space around Demon Lay were concentrated to the extreme. Hiss hiss! Old Demon Lay was shocked. His body froze on the spot. He kept urging the black light shield to expand and push the purple flames away. However, the purple flames continued to pour in from all directions, causing him to tremble with fear. If the black light barrier couldn't hold on any longer, he might be burned to death. What? Lu Li was overjoyed. Just now, he was at his wits' end. He used the Slayer's move casually, hoping to fend off the purple flames. He did not expect this. Go on. Chapter 2454. Eventually, Demon Lay did not last long. As a matter of fact, he could not stand the purple flames yet. He had to rely on some kind of skill to keep the purple flames alive. When the purple flames swarmed over, Demon Lay was scared. The black shield was consuming divine energy rapidly, and Lu Li was luring flames over. Demon Lay was afraid of death as well. He did not want to risk his life for a chance to enter the primitive region. Demon Lay retreated quickly, but he did not leave the island at once. He lingered in the area of red flames for a while, and then flew out, embarrassed. Although it was unavoidable to lose face, he was really at his wits' end. Whoosh! Wu family warriors gathered around him. Many people stared at him. Thick-skinned as Demon Lay was, he was too ashamed to show his face. Wu Qing and the others were nearby. Demon Lay touched his nose and said, "That punk can attract flames. It will be hard for me to kill him. Let me go back and get a piece of fire-resistant artifact. I will cut him into pieces." After saying that, old Demon Lay turned into a stream of light and soared into the sky, quickly disappearing into the distant sky. The two warriors that came with him rushed in. Since they were here, they must try their luck. What if they could kill Lu Li? Let's go. The two warriors rushed in and were ready to take action at the same time. Given the chance, they could kill Lu Li. After all, Lu Li was said to be only at the peak of the fourth tribulation. They flew into the area of red flames and sensed where Lu Li was. They looked at each other and nodded. Then they rushed into the area of purple flames at the same time. Swish! As soon as they went in, a ray of sword light came out. Following that, purple flames swept over and engulfed the two warriors. The two were taken aback. They stepped back in fright and at the same time used various defensive skills. Whoosh! They retreated for 30 miles in an instant. But their robes were burned and so were their skin. Their hair and beards were gone. They were in a sorry state. Whoosh! They put on their armors and flew away from the other side without having time to tend to their wounds. The purple flames were so strong that they were burned as soon as they went in. They had retreated quickly. If they had been a few breaths later, they would have become 2 dead bodies. Good, good. Luli nodded. He didn't know that the Slayer's Ghost Slash had such abilities. If these flames could be collected, compressed, and suddenly exploded, they would probably be able to burn many Fifth Tribulation experts to death. Let's walk around. Luli stopped casting petrification, otherwise, he would definitely pass out. He remembered that there was a tree stump here and fire ant. Maybe there were other magical herbs in other areas? He wandered around the purple flame area. The purple flame area was huge, and it formed a circle. Luli wandered around but did not see any other herbs or beasts. He didn't even see any fire ant. After walking half a circle, Luli found that there were vines on the ground between the purple flame area and the white flame area. There were scales on the vines, and they looked like small snakes. There were also fist-sized dark golden fruits on the vines. Godly medicine! Luli's eyes glowed. This dark golden fruit could grow between the purple flames and the more advanced white flames. This fruit must be a super one. How could ordinary fruits grow under such terrifying heat? Well, this is weird. Luli took a closer look and noticed another thing. There were no flames around the fruit. There were no flames in the space around the fruit. It was as if there was a shield of light around each fruit. It was amazing. Phew, phew. Luli slapped and the flames swept over. Something miraculous happened. The purple flames were all sucked into the dark golden fruit. Still, there were no flames around the fruit. This is good. Luli was excited. The fruits could absorb flames. Did it mean that he could go into the white flame area with the fruits on him? Who could kill him if he could go into the white flame area? Even a Lord rank powerhouse wouldn't dare to stay too long in the white flame area, right? Luli hurried over and used petrification. On the other side of the fruits was the white flame area, which must be at least 10 times more powerful than the purple flames. Luli walked over to one of the golden vines. He pulled it out with great force and pulled it out easily. But when the vine was pulled out, it waved as if it were a living thing that was about to fly away. Luli grabbed the golden vine and poured divine energy into it. After a moment, the vine stopped moving. Instead, it seemed to be enjoying Luli's divine energy. The golden vine was long with 4 fruits on it. Luli wrapped the vine around himself and poured divine energy into it every now and then. The vine stopped moving. I knew it! Luli took a look. Most of the flames around him had been absorbed. Only the dark golden fruits on his feet were still burning. Luli quickly walked over to the other 2 vines and pulled one out easily. There were 3 fruits on that vine. Luli wrapped it around his feet and there were no more flames around his feet. Nice! Luli had 7 fruits on him and he was wrapped up by the vines. He looked like a wild man. But he was relieved that there were no flames burning him. He was not a man without pain. Of course, he didn't want to suffer if he could. Even though suffering was also a way to improve his abilities and refine his body. The root of the last vine was in the area of white flames. To pull it out, Luli had to go into the area. Luli took off one of the vines and threw it into the area of white flames. Nice! He was overjoyed to find that wherever the dark golden fruits went, the white flames would be absorbed. Luli took the vine back and wrapped it around his body again. Making sure that every part of his body could be protected by the fruits, Luli released the bordering dragon skill and walked into the area of white flames. Hiss, hiss, as soon as he stepped in, even with the fruits absorbing the flames, Luli felt smoke rising from his body. Many parts of his body were burned by the white flames. He smelled burnt flesh. Even his fire-resistant leather pants could not stand it any longer. Smoke was rising. Luli moved on quickly. He pulled out the other dark golden vine and stepped back. This vine was slightly longer and had 5 dark golden fruits on it. After Luli wrapped the vines around him, there were 12 fruits hanging densely on his body. He looked like a monster. More importantly, he was naked. He had no hair or beard. His skin was dark, which was quite strange. Strangeness did not matter. Staying alive was more important than anything else. Luli grinned. The golden fruits were definitely treasures. Of course, he didn't want to take them off. He would just hang them there. He would pour some divine energy into them every now and then to grow the fruit. Ha ha, cultivate. Chapter 24:55. One by one, the old demons went in and came out. The 5 warriors that went in later all came out with their faces covered in dirt, which surprised the people outside. Was Luli too powerful, or was the purple flames too powerful? Either way, Luli had become famous this time. The old demons that came, such as Lei, were all famous powerful warriors of the silver flame seas. They had been in the seas for more than 100,000 years. They had thought that they could capture Luli easily once they went in. Little did they expect that they would come back in failure. More and more warriors gathered here. Many of them were not here to kill Luli, but to enjoy the show. Of course, it would be beneficial for them if they could establish a relationship with the Wu family. Half a month after Luli went in, the number of warriors here had reached 5,000 or 6,000. There were several old demons here as well. Many more were teleporting over or opening the spatial gate. Wu Qing didn't mobilize more powerful warriors from his family. He had put up a bounty. More old demons must be coming. He just had to wait for them to make a move. 3 days later, another old devil came. When this person arrived, the scene was spectacular. Before he arrived, a 7-colored divine rainbow flew over. Then, he slowly flew over from the other end of the rainbow. There was a golden glow behind him. He looked like a Buddha. Recluse Fanshan is here as well. Wow, someone like Recluse Fanshan is here as well? It is said that he reached the peak of the 5th tribulation many years ago. Judging by his appearance, has he reached the Lord Realm? Is the successor of 1,000 transformations still alive? People were talking about it. The way this man showed up was stunning. Many had never seen such a glamorous way. They felt it was a worthwhile trip. Whoosh! Wu Qing flew up. This man was more powerful than him. Even though he hadn't reached the 6th tribulation, Wu Qing had to show him some respect. Wu Qing and Recluse Fanshan chatted for a while. When Recluse Fanshan went into the island, many followed him to watch. A patriarch of the Wu family went in as well. He wanted to see how Recluse Fanshan was going to kill Luli. Recluse Fanshan was wearing a Taoist robe. He looked like an immortal. He was thin and had a long beard. One look and people could tell that he was powerful. He held a horsetail whisk in his hand and wore a dark golden robe with many divine runes on it. When he entered the area of red flames, runes lit up on his robe, and a faint golden barrier appeared, preventing the flames from approaching him. Is he not in the purple flame area? Recluse Fanshan stood at the border of the red and purple flames. He frowned. The patriarch of the Wu family sensed it and his face clouded over. Did Luli run away? Yes, I found it. After a while, Layman Fanshan raised his eyebrows slightly and said in a deep voice, "He is at the place where the purple flame area and the white flame area connect. This guy is quite powerful." Kid? People nearby were surprised. Luli looked like an old man. It was true that Recluse Fanshan was advanced in age, but it was inappropriate to call Luli a brat. Ah! Scholar Fanshan smiled and explained, He is wearing the 1,000 transformations mask, hiding his life aura. He is actually very young. To have such achievements at such a young age, it is not bad. He should be a descendant of the Purple Sovereign. Scholar Fan Shan pointed out Lu Li's age with one sentence. His words were full of confidence, convincing others. The patriarch of the Wu family cupped his fists and said, "You are impressive. Thank you." Ha ha. Scholar Fan Shan waved his hand and said, "It is nothing. Please wait here. I will be back soon." Scholar Fan Shan executed a strange footwork. His figure floated gracefully as he charged into the area of purple flames. He waved his horsetail whisk and the purple flames actually parted, creating a path for him. Impressive. Everyone was dumbfounded. This wasn't an ordinary flame. It could actually split the purple flame so easily. The patriarch of the Wu family was delighted. It seemed that Lu Li was going to die this time. Someone is here? Lu Li, who was sitting with his legs crossed, opened his eyes. He had been activating the trace of the Great Tao so he could sense the surroundings. Once someone entered the purple flame area, he would know right away. Lu Li noticed that the man was waving his horsetail whisk and blowing away the purple flames. Lu Li's expressions grew solemn. Swish, before anyone could come over, Lu Li had released the Slayer's ghost cut. The purple flames from all sides were attracted to recluse Fan Shan. When the balls of purple flames spread out, average warriors would have been frightened. Ha ha! Scholar Fan Shan's expressions did not change. He kept waving his horsetail whisk. His body glowed in a golden light as well. He had turned into a Buddha. Every time he waved his horsetail whisk, there would be a golden glare. The purple flames would be smashed away. Impressive! Lu Li's expression grew solemn. His eyes flickered. He released the skill of dragon at once and dashed into the area of white flames. Since the purple flames could not stop Scholar Fan Shan, then he would have to rely on the white flames. If the white flames could not stop Scholar Fan Shan, then he would have to wait for death. Hiss, hiss, as soon as Lu Li entered the area of white flames, he was smoking. He had the dark golden fruit. Without them, he would have turned into a mummy. Seeing that Lu Li had entered the area of white flames, Scholar Fan Shan was surprised. What were the vines and fruits hanging on Lu Li? How could they protect him from the white flames? Whoosh! Scholar Fan Shan sped up. He wanted to kill Lu Li before he went too deep into the area of white flames. Swish! As soon as Lu Li entered, he released the Slayer's ghost cut at once. Countless streams of white flames whooshed out and swept toward Scholar Fan Shan. Buzzing, Scholar Fan Shan's body glowed in a golden light. His expressions were solemn. He waved his horsetail whisk. Ripples spread out in space, trying to push back the white flames. No, back! Scholar Fan Shan kept waving his horsetail whisk. The ripples in space did not push back the white flames. A surge of heat swept across. The golden glow around Scholar Fan Shan dimmed down. Some parts of his robe were smoking and his beard was on fire. Fortunately, Scholar Fan Shan was a powerful warrior. He reacted quickly. He stepped back for more than 30 miles at once and was out of the area of purple flames. He was not enveloped by the white flames. What? There was a group of people standing in the area of red flames. They looked at each other, speechless, seeing Scholar Fan Shan stepping back in such a disheveled manner. The successor of 1,000 transformations was so powerful that even a warrior of Scholar Fan Shan's level could come out in such a sorry state. Could it be that only a Lord Realm warrior could kill Scholar Fan Shan? Cough, cough. When Scholar Fan Shan saw so many people looking at him, he blushed. He said awkwardly, "That kid has entered the white flame area. The white flame is too terrifying. I don't think it will be easy to kill him unless he is a lord." Area of white flames? Chapter 2456. The retreat of Recluse Fan Shan caused an uproar among the thousands of warriors outside. Recluse Fan Shan was at the peak of the fifth tribulation, and he said that Luli had gone into the White Flame area. Not even the fifth tribulation warriors dared to go into the Purple Flame area. Going into the White Flame area would only result in death. Luli had been injured by a warrior at the peak of the fourth tribulation. As far as everyone knew, Luli was not a powerful warrior. Now, he could go into the White Flame area, which was confusing. Did Luli suddenly become more powerful? Or was he hiding his abilities before? Recluse Fan Shan left, leaving Wu Qing and the others with a headache. They knew how dangerous the White Flame area was. Average warriors of the fifth tribulation wouldn't dare to go in. What could they do now? They could either go back to the Wu family and ask for help from powerful warriors of the Lord Realm, or wait for more powerful warriors to come and help, or wait for Luli to come out on his own. Wu Qing thought about it for an hour and decided to wait. To ask for help from the family now would mean that Wu Qing was incapable. After all, Wu Qing was responsible for this. Wu Qing had offered such favorable conditions and mobilized so many people and resources. If he couldn't even kill Luli, his prestige in the family would be diminished. Wu Qing received the news that more warriors would come. Luli couldn't run away anyway, so he would wait for a while. For them, a few years was just a blink of an eye. Time flew by. 3 months passed by quickly. This time, 4 warriors of the fourth tribulation and some warriors of the fourth tribulation came. They all took turns to go in and have a look. In the end, they all came back in failure. Wu Qing was looking forward to coming alone. According to the information from the Wu family, a warrior specializing in fire from the west of the Silver Flame Sea was coming. That warrior was famous at the west of the Silver Flame Sea. His nickname was Master of Red Sunday. He had been cultivating the fundamental principle of fire all his life, and he lived in a silver flame volcano all year round. How horrifying was the Silver Flame volcano! Usually, people would either die or be injured when touched by the silver flame. How could this warrior live in the Silver Flame volcano all year round? It was not hard to imagine how powerful this warrior was in fire. It was said that this warrior had set off for this place a long time ago. If nothing went wrong, he should have arrived a long time ago. However, he heard that a silver flame volcano spewed out some treasures along the way. Therefore, he stopped teleporting and went into the Silver Flame volcano to look for treasures. Once this person was done searching for treasures, he would definitely continue to teleport over. Wu Qing was waiting for him. Wu Qing even sent a message to his men to wait outside the Silver Flame volcano. If Master Scarlet's son didn't come to Blazing Island after he came out, he would add some more bargaining chips to invite him over. Luli had been in closed-door cultivation. He left the area of purple flames and replanted the 3 vines. The vines didn't fly away. They stayed nearby. Luli continued to let the purple flames burn his body. When his wounds were more serious, he would take out the pieces of wood to consume. The piece of wood contained pure and strange energy. Not only could it improve Luli's body, but it could also heal his wounds. If you want to cultivate a supreme divine body, not only do you need body-refining divine medicines, you also need to go to some strange places to temper your body. Luli remembered the crippled Zen master's words. He could feel it now. Using flames to refine the body was really fast. He was improving every second, just like consuming elixirs. Luli was having too much fun in here. Whenever powerful warriors came, he would hide in the area of white flames and cultivate his body outside when he had nothing to do. He planned to stay here for a couple of years. Of course, he had nowhere else to go. He didn't dare to go out and he couldn't fly. Actually, Luli had thought about eating 1 or 2 of those dark golden fruits to see if he could improve his body by leaps and bounds. In the end, he stopped himself. So what if his body was improved? Without the fruits to withstand the white flames, once a powerful warrior came in, he would die for sure. The area of white flames was horrifying. Not even a powerful warrior could survive. Therefore, the area of white flames was the best place for him to take refuge. Time moved on. Luli felt more and more like a fish in water. Half of the stump had been consumed by him, and he didn't know how many fire ants he had eaten. Luli had been studying the fundamental principle of divine sound. He had made some progress, but he still had a long way to go before he could master it. Soon, another 5 months had passed. During this time, 7 more warriors came, but all of them were at the 5th tribulation. None of them were at the 6th tribulation. 5 of the 7 warriors went into the area of purple flames and came out after a moment. 2 of them knew something about the fundamental principle of fire. Luli had no other choice but to go into the area of white flames. The 2 of them took the risk and went into the area of white flames. Just like recluse Fan Shan, they had to leave with their faces covered in dust. Those warriors were all powerful. Luli had attacked many times, but he couldn't kill any of them. Those warriors had been fighting for their entire lives. Their awareness of combat was strong. Once they were in danger, they would retreat at once. Luli had been refining his body in the purple fire area for so many days. His body should be more than 10 times stronger than before. Now, the purple fire could not inflict serious damage on him. His self-healing ability alone could protect him from death. He would use the dragon skill every now and then to go into the area of white flames to refine his body. Of course, he wouldn't go in for too long. He would come out as soon as his body couldn't stand it anymore. If he only used the dragon skill for a short while, his body wouldn't be too weak. When the period of weakness was over, the dragon skill would be released automatically. Therefore, Luli didn't dare to use it for too long. He was living a comfortable life here. It was quiet and suitable for cultivation. If there were no interruptions, Luli would cultivate here for years or even decades to improve his physical body to a higher level. Luli believed that as long as he could go into the destructive flames, his body would be so strong that he could defeat warriors of the 5th tribulation realm. The destructive flames was one of the most powerful flames in the world. Emperor Z had to use the destructive flames to refine his body after he reached the Emperor realm. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the flames were. Luli believed that if he could stay alive for the time for one breath, his body would be stronger than he could imagine. Another 4 months passed by. Wu Qing received a piece of good news. Master of Red Sun had come out from the Silver Flame volcano. He was teleporting over constantly. Clearly, he was here to kill Luli. Almost a year had passed and a puny Luli was still alive. The Wu family sent back a message that they were dissatisfied. Now that Master of Red Sun was here, Wu Qing could put his mind at ease. More than half a month later, a red figure flew over like a fire snake. As soon as he got closer, a surge of heat waves swept over. It felt like he was a silver flame volcano, causing the surrounding space to become oppressive. Master of Red Sun was here. Wu Qing went to greet him at once. He was also at the peak of the 5th tribulation realm, and he had been famous for a long time. He was even more famous than recluse Fan Shan. Years ago, this man wiped out a middle-level force and killed 3 warriors at the peak of the 5th tribulation realm. Whoosh whoosh. Chapter 2457. Greetings, Senior Master Scarlet Sun. Wu Qing led 2 elders to greet him, and a few old demons followed to greet him. Master Scarlet Sun could be considered a real old demon, having lived for almost 300,000 years. Wu Qing and the others could be considered juniors. Master Scarlet Sun had a head of fiery red hair, and even his beard was red. His hair and beard were all spread out, and his bell-like eyes made him look somewhat frightening. It nodded indifferently as a greeting to everyone. Then, it glanced at Blazing Island and asked, "Is that brat still inside?" Wu Qing nodded and said, "He has always been inside, but he can enter the White Flame area. Senior Master Scarlet's son, do you have a way to kill him?" White Flame area. Master Scarlet's son's expression sank, and he remained silent. Just when Wu Qing and the others thought that he would not dare to enter, Master Scarlet's son said, "I can kill him, but your conditions are not enough. I want to add another condition." "Add another condition?" Wu Qing frowned, but after a pause, he said, "Senior Master Scarlet's son, please say it. I can make the decision." Wu Qing spoke very cleverly, because the decisions he could make were not big matters. The real big matters needed the Wu family's patriarch and great elder to make the decision, and he was not qualified. "I want to go into your blazing secret realm," Master Scarlet's son said coldly. "I want to stay inside for a day. I promise not to destroy your secret realm, but everything I get inside is mine." This, Wu Qing and the others hesitated. Blazing Secret Realm was the one that Purple Emperor went into back then. It was the Wu family's resource land, and there were many strange divine medicines in it. If Master Scarlet's son went in, many divine medicines would probably be collected by him, and the price to pay would be too high. "What, you don't agree?" Master Scarlet's son glanced at Wu Qing from the corner of his eyes and said, "If you don't agree, you can ask your old fart to come. Even your feudal lord might not be able to do well in the White Flame area unless you ask your patriarch or king to come." Wu Qing and the others looked slightly bitter. Did they need the family's patriarch to deal with a mere 1,000 transformations descendant? Wouldn't that be too degrading? King? If they reported such a small matter to Sunlight Emperor, they would probably be killed by him with a slap. "Wait a moment, senior." Wu Qing pondered for a moment, cupped his hands, and said, "I will send someone to send a message back, and let the Grand Elder make a decision. This matter. I cannot make the decision." "Hurry up." Master Scarlet's son waved his hand impatiently and entered the blazing island. However, he was only at the periphery of the island. As soon as he entered, something miraculous happened. The flames around him actually surged towards him, and were absorbed into his body. As expected of the Scarlet Sun Taoist. Tisk tsk, he can even absorb flames. Does he have the body of the fire god? Among those who play with fire in the Silver Flame Sea region, Senior Scarlet Sun is probably in the top 3, right? He even dared to enter the Silver Flame volcano. What's there to be afraid of? I don't think White Flame can hurt him at all. Many people were looking forward to it. This time, Master of Red Sun would go in and bring Lu Li's body out. They all wanted to see what kind of person the 1,000 transformations descendant who had caused so many old devils to return in defeat was. He was said to be very young? It was said that he was a descendant of the Purple Emperor? Wu Qing sent a message back. 3 days later, the Wu family replied and agreed to Master of Red Sun's conditions. Wu Qing sent a message back to the Wu family. Naturally, the family patriarch of the Wu family would not take any action. If the great patriarch of the Wu family came back without any success, it would be a great disgrace. They might as well give up some benefits and let Master of Red Sun kill Lu Li. Okay, let's wait and see. After Master of Red Sun got the confirmation, he strode inside. Some old devils and warriors of the Fourth Tribulation realm followed him in, wanting to see his amazing means. Master of Red Sun arrived at the area of red flames quickly. Without any pause, he went into the area of purple flames. The purple flames swept towards him. A ray of red light came out from his body, and he absorbed all the purple flames nearby. What? The people following him were dumbfounded. If Master of Red Sun could absorb purple flames, then Master of Red Sun wouldn't feel much pressure from the white flames. Someone is coming. Lu Li, who was sitting with his legs crossed in the middle of the area of purple flames and white flames, opened his eyes. Without any hesitation, he pulled out the 3 vines from the ground and wrapped them around his body. He drew a sword with one hand and hacked at the man coming at him fast. Swish, a ray of sword light turned around in midair and swept over with many purple flames. What happened next shocked Luli. When all the purple flames reached that man, his body glowed in red. Then the purple flames were absorbed by him slowly. What? Luli's expressions darkened. This man's attainments in fire were beyond his imagination. He could even absorb purple flames? Would white flame not be able to stop him? If even white flame could not stop it, then he could only wait for his death. Blessing fruit? Master of Red Sun didn't look at Luli. Instead, he was staring at the 12 dark golden fruits on Luli. His eyes were glowing and there was a trace of excitement on his face. Punk. Master of Red Sun took a deep breath and said, "Give me the fruits and I will spare your life. Don't worry. I, Master of Red Sun, am a man of my word. I am famous even in the Silver Flame Sea." Blessing fruit? Luli repeated. The old man was so powerful, but he was so excited when he saw the fruit. It must be a treasure, at least for powerful warriors that cultivated the fundamental meaning of fire. It must be a treasure. Luli thought about it and said, "I will give you one. You can go now." Ha ha ha. Master of Red Sun laughed and said, "Punk, who do you think you are? If I kill you, the fruits will be mine as well. As far as I am concerned, you are no different from an ant. I can crush you easily." Really? Luli wanted to negotiate. If this man was willing to give him some face, Luli wouldn't mind giving up half of the fruits. Now that this man had said so, Luli lost his temper. He said coldly, "Then come at me. I promise that I will destroy all the fruits before I die." "Do you think you can do that?" Master of Red Sun sneered. Then he dashed over like a hawk. Luli released the dragon skill at once and dashed into the area of white flames. Whoosh! Master of Red Sun arrived at the area of white flames. Luli released the Slayer's ghost cut. White flames swept over and enveloped Master of Red Sunday. Master of Red Sun's body glowed red. This time, more flames came out from his body. All the purple flames that he had devoured came out. There was also silver lava that formed a shield around him to protect him from the white flames. Oh no! Luli's mind was weighed down. This old man really could stop the white flames. But he did not know how long he could last. If he could, then Luli would not be able to escape this time. The dragon's skill could only last for an hour. If Master of Red Sun didn't leave after an hour, then Luli would die. "Punk, stop struggling." Master of Red Sun sneered and said, "I know you have used the dragon skill. I don't think your body can last long. By then, you will be burnt to ashes by the white flames. Give me the fruits and I will let you die in one piece." Chapter 2458. Luli was never one to resign himself to death. Therefore, he dashed toward the depth of the white flames without hesitation. He used the mark of Tao and could sense something. Flames and lava were coming out of Master Scarlet Sun's body. What did this mean? It meant that the white flames were consuming the energy of Master Scarlet Sun's shield. He had to replenish the shield with flames. That was to say, Master Scarlet Sun was not afraid of the white flames. He was just using the shield to withstand it. Swish! Luli released the Slayer's move. The white flames whooshed toward Master Scarlet Sun, but the shield was not cracked. That being said, Master Scarlet Sun's speed had slowed down. Okay. Luli was overjoyed. Master Scarlet Sun wouldn't act rashly in the white flames area. This was a chance for Luli. Master Scarlet Sun didn't attack either. Clearly, he didn't want to damage the 12 blessing fruit. Punk! On the other side, Master Scarlet Sun spoke again. He said in a deep voice, "Don't be stubborn. The weakened period of your spinning dragon technique will come soon. How about this? Give me 10 blessing fruits and I will leave right away. I will take an almighty oath. What do you say?" Master Scarlet Sun gave in. Luli was surprised. Master Scarlet Sun was an old demon. Normally, he would not give in. This meant that he could not hold on any longer and could not stay in the white flame area for a long time. Luli wandered around in the white flames area quickly while he kept releasing Slayer's ghost cut. Countless white flames swarmed toward Master Scarlet Sun and enveloped him. Master Scarlet Sun complained to himself. The white flames were too powerful. More importantly, there were too many of them. Luli was drawing them over and over again. Master Scarlet Sun could stand it, but he could still be in trouble. He didn't want to ruin his reputation here. If he were to play with fire for the rest of his life, he would not be able to afford it. He could attack, and he was confident that if he did, he could kill Luli in one move. However, Luli had 12 blessing fruits on him. If Master Scarlet Sun attacked, many of the fruits would be destroyed. Luli didn't know much about blessing fruits. They were indeed miraculous. For those who cultivated fundamental principle of fire, they were priceless treasures. Though the fruits were not ripe yet, Master Scarlet Sun had all the time in the world. If these fruits were thrown into the Silver Flame volcano or cultivated here, they would mature in less than 5,000 years. Once these fruits ripened and he refined them, he had a 70% chance of breaking through the peak of the 5th tribulation and becoming a lord. Lord Tyr. For old devils like them who had lived for hundreds of thousands of years, this was something they had dreamed of for many years. Nothing was more important than this matter. What was the Wu family's reward worth? Even if he entered the primitive mystic realm 10 times, he wouldn't be able to match up to these 12 fruit. As a result, he had even sworn an over-God blood oath. With his status, he naturally could not say something like that casually. If he couldn't do anything, what else could he do? Master Crimson Sun left without hesitation. He retreated to the area of purple flames. His psychic power penetrated in and locked onto Luli. He said, "Punk, stop struggling. You cannot hold on much longer. You will be burned alive in a while. Give me 10 fruits and leave immediately. I am Taoist Scarlet Sun, famous in the Silver Flame Sea region. I will not go back on my word." Luli sneered. It was not that he didn't trust Master Crimson Sun's words. The problem was that if he gave Master Crimson Sun 10 fruits, he would only have 2 left. How could he survive the white flames with only 2? If he couldn't, how long could he survive in the purple flames? If Master Crimson Sun left, would Master White Sun or Master Black Sun come? Either way, he was going to die. Luli didn't want to give up the treasures. Since Master Crimson Sun valued the blessing fruit so much, it must be a miraculous medicine. Miraculous medicine? Luli thought of something. If the fruit could absorb the white flames, then if he consumed one, would he have a chance to survive the white flames? He had 12 now. It wouldn't make much difference if he consumed 1 or 2 or even 4. He was at the end of his rope now. He didn't think too much. He picked a fruit off the ground and bit into it. It tastes good. The fragrance melted in Luli's mouth. He felt a stream of heat surging into his abdomen and spreading to the rest of his body. At that moment, Luli felt like he was floating, extremely comfortable. He didn't eat much now. He could replenish his energy with some cultivation. Now that he had eaten the fruit, his appetite was whetted. Prodigal, prodigal. Master Crimson Sun had been checking on Luli. He had lived for more than 300,000 years. How powerful would his psychic power be? Therefore, even though the purple flames and white flames could weaken psychic power, Master Crimson Sun could still locate Luli easily. Master Crimson Sun's mouth twitched. He was so angry that his beard was standing on end. The fruit wasn't ripe yet and Luli had eaten it. What a waste! Not to mention that he should not have eaten it like this. What a waste! Master Crimson Sun wanted to rush in and slap Luli. What a rare treasure, and Luli had wasted it. This was a treasure that could help Master Crimson Sun reach the sixth tribulation. Even one such fruit would make people fight over it. But Luli had wasted it like this. It tastes good. Luli finished the fruit in a few bites. After he finished, he still felt like he wanted more. He picked another one and ate it. Punk! Master Crimson Sun was about to lose his mind. He had regarded the fruits as his treasure. He was heartbroken that Luli had wasted them like this. But what else could he do? He couldn't stay inside for long. Even if he could, he wouldn't be able to get the blessing fruit. Master Crimson Sun took a deep breath and shouted, "Punk, stop eating. You cannot absorb the energy of the blessing fruit like this. It is a waste. How about this? I will take you out of here and you give me the other 10 fruit." "No. I only want 8. How about that?" Ha ha. Luli, of course, did not believe the words of this old man. Going out with this old man? He was afraid that the old man would slap him to death after he gave him the fruit. Luli finished the fruit in a few bites. He sat on the ground with his legs crossed and mobilized divine energy in his body to absorb the energy of the fruit. What a powerful fruit! Luli felt surges of powerful energy moving around in his body. Many of them were entering his 720 acupoints. His body was absorbing the energy quickly. His body was strengthening as if he had consumed 100 top-level herbs. Okay. Luli felt his burnt body was healing quickly after he consumed the fruit. The fruit was more powerful than the tree stumps and the fire ants. Clearly, it was a super herb. Let's try it. Luli tried to stop using the dragon skill to see if the energy of the fruit could withstand the white flames. As soon as he stopped using the spinning dragon art, his physical body was instantly weakened several times over. Black smoke rose from his body as the high temperature started to burn his body. Okay. Luli wanted to roll around on the ground in pain. But he realized that the energy was healing his body as if it were the tree stump. Eat. Chapter 2459. While Master of Red Sun was in a rage, Luli ate the fruits one by one. His body was improving at a fast speed and his resistance to fire was improving as well. 4 fruits later, Luli felt he was recovering faster than his burns. His body was undergoing a qualitative change as well. Not only was he getting stronger, he also had a feeling that his body was about to transform to another level. Is this blessing fruit really that miraculous? Luli had consumed countless elixirs. After he came to the third heaven, he must have consumed more than 10,000 elixirs. But none of them could compare to the blessing fruit. Eat more. Without hesitation, Luli picked another fruit and ate it. Outside, Master of Red Sun could not sit still any longer. If Master of Red Sun waited any longer, Luli would finish all the fruit. If he could not get the fruits, then what else could he worry about? If he rushed in now and killed Luli, he might get 1 or 2 fruit. If he didn't, all the fruits would be eaten by Luli. Swish, Luli released the Slayer's ghost slash. Countless streams of white flames came at him. At the same time, Luli ran around the area of white flames quickly. On the other hand, he was using divine energy to dissolve the effects of the elixirs. At the same time, he was eating the fruits with one hand. Punk, stop eating. Leave some for me. Master of Red Sun yelled anxiously. Luli had been attacking and luring the white flames over. Master of Red Sun could not move too fast. Otherwise, if the shield was broken, Master of Red Sun would be seriously injured, if not killed. 4. Give me 4 and I will leave right away. Okay, I only want 3. One should be fine, right? My friend, let's be friends. Come to me at the Mountain of 9 Dragons and I will take you as my protégé. Luli was fast enough that Master of Red Sun could not catch up with him. Master of Red Sun could not kill Luli even if he wanted to. Seeing the fruits dwindling, Master of Red Sun felt like crying. The fruits were priceless. There was nowhere to buy them even if he wanted to. Naturally, Luli would not give such good stuff to Master of Red Sunday. The fruits were not ripe yet, but they were powerful. Luli had a feeling that his body was about to transform. Maybe, after he finished all the fruits, his body would not grow much stronger. But it might transform into some kind of treasure. The crippled Zen master had said it before. There were 3 stages to the supreme divine body. Luli was still at the first stage. However, he had a feeling that after consuming these fruits, he would not be far from the second stage. As he continued flying, he released the Slayer Emperor's true intent and quickly ate the blessing fruit. He understood one thing. After eating the blessing fruit, although Master Scarlet Sun would be exasperated, it was very likely that he would retreat. That was because he couldn't kill him. Without the blessing fruit, there was no point in staying here. Soon, Luli finished the 12 fruit. Seeing that Luli had eaten the last one, Master Red Sun almost fell to the ground. His bell-like eyes were filled with red light. He gritted his teeth and roared like an injured beast. "Cheese something?" At that moment Luli suddenly said. He stopped and said, "Do you want this vine? Maybe after a few thousand years it will bear fruit again." Master Crimson Sun's blood-red eyes became clear. After being stunned for a moment, he asked, "You can give me the vine?" "That depends on what you do," Luli said. "If you leave now and make an almighty oath that you will never do anything to me again, I can give you the vine." The vine was useless to Luli. He could not grow it for tens of thousands of years. He didn't have the time. If Master Scarlet Sun left, Luli could give him the vine. Phew, okay. Master Scarlet Sun almost shouted with his teeth clenched. But he had no other choice. If he could not kill Luli, what was the point of staying here? If he could get the 3 vines, maybe he could go back and grow more. After Master Scarlet Sun made the almighty oath, Luli gave him the 3 vines. Master Scarlet Sun gave Luli a meaningful look and left. Since he had made an almighty oath, he wouldn't dare to kill Luli again. He could only throw a few glances at Luli. After Master Scarlet Sun left, Luli was relieved. He dashed out as well. Even though he could stand the white flames with the help of the blessing fruit, it would consume a lot of energy. He should go out and consume the energy. When he appeared in the area of purple flames, he felt he had come back to the human world from hell. He felt extremely comfortable. He seemed to be more resistant to fire now. The purple flames couldn't hurt him one bit. His body was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the time for more than a dozen breaths, he was completely healed. Consume the energy. Luli wasted no time. He sat with his legs crossed and used divine energy to transfer the energy to every inch of his skin and flesh so that his body could absorb all the energy. Whoosh! Master Scarlet Sun flew out. Those outside didn't know what was going on inside. Seeing Master Scarlet Sun coming out, a patriarch of the Wu family cupped his fists and said, "Master Scarlet Sun, how did it go? Let's talk outside." Master Scarlet Sun walked out with a gloomy face. The patriarch of the Wu family and the others were taken aback. Master Scarlet Sun clearly didn't kill Luli. They followed Master Scarlet Sun out. Wu Qin came over as well. He didn't ask anything because he could tell from Master Scarlet Sun's expression that he didn't succeed. Master Scarlet Sun did not avoid the topic and said, "Wu Qin, immediately send a message to your patriarch and invite a supreme elder to come out. The blessing fruit on Blazing Island has been refined by that kid." Now, he can do whatever he wants in the White Flames region. He has just consumed the blessing fruit, and it will take some time for him to consume the energy. We still have time to ask for a great patriarch. If it's too late, I don't think even a great patriarch can kill him. Blessing fruit? Everyone was in an uproar. Some old warriors were regretting their decision. Wu Qing and the others were regretful as well. Didn't they say that only one emperor went in thousands of years ago? How could such a super herb come to be after thousands of years? Blessing fruit ranked among the top 5 of all the herbs with properties of fire. Taking the blessing fruit would greatly enhance one's immunity to fire. According to Master Scarlet's son, if Luli consumed all the energy, he could even go to the area of flames of destruction. By then, not even a real lord would be able to do anything. Unless Emperor Yang came in person, asking Emperor Yang to deal with the successor of 1,000 transformations? Emperor Yang wouldn't do it. Even if he did, the Wu family would be disgraced. Wu Qing's eyes flickered. He thought about it and asked, Master Scarlet's son, are you sure? Of course. Master Scarlet's son was already angry. He shouted angrily, if it were not for the blessing fruit, do you think I can't kill him? No, don't get me wrong. Wu Qing made up his mind and winked at a patriarch. That patriarch left to send a message back to the Wu family. The pursuit of Luli had become a big deal. There must be a result. Wu Qing would be shamed and the Wu family would be disgraced if he asked for a great patriarch's help. But it was better than letting Luli live. This old man will wait here. Master Scarlet's son flew to a nearby island and said with his teeth clenched, when your great patriarch comes, get that punk out. I want to see him die with my own eyes. Chapter 2460. When the news reached the Wu family, the family patriarch gathered a group of patriarchs for a discussion. Eventually, they decided to send a great patriarch over. The entire Silver Flame Sea was in an uproar. There had to be a result. A strong start but weak finish would damage the dignity of the Wu family. Therefore, the matter must be handled perfectly. The Wu family sent a great patriarch who had been famous for a long time. He was proficient in fire fundamental principle, and he had been to the area of white flames. It would be too easy for him to kill Luli. Unless Luli could go in and destroy the area, he would die for sure. Not many remembered this great patriarch's real name, but he had a famous nickname, the Mad Old Patriarch. He was a battle maniac who never got married. He had been studying martial arts all his life. Once, he challenged half of the old warriors of the Silver Flame Sea and killed dozens of famous ones. He was called the Mad Old Patriarch, meaning that he was unreasonable and would bite anyone he saw. When the news spread out, all the old warriors near the blazing island started to gather there. It had been years since the Mad Old Patriarch came out. After he reached the Lord Realm, he barely fought. It had been tens of thousands of years. How powerful was the Mad Old Patriarch now? Many people were curious. It was said that the Mad Old Patriarch had a great chance to reach the Emperor realm. Since such a powerful figure was going to take action, those old demons naturally wanted to come and watch. Of course, many of them also wanted to befriend the leader of the Wu family. This old mad dog had a very special position in the Wu family. He was very paranoid and bad-tempered. Except for the Patriarch and Yang Di, he would not give face to anyone. If they could get to know the Mad Old Patriarch, the Wu family would let bygones be bygones if they offended the Wu family in the future. The Wu family was ready to open a space gate to teleport the Mad Old Patriarch over. Many old warriors opened their space gates and teleported over first. Buzzing, before the Mad Old Patriarch arrived, more than 30 old warriors had come. Many patriarchs and hall masters of nearby forces, young masters and young ladies had come to watch. At first, there were only thousands of people. But when the Mad Old Patriarch came, tens of thousands swarmed over. The blazing island was bustling like never before. Many young masters and young ladies gathered together in high spirits. It was rare for them to see such a big scene, especially since the mad old patriarch was coming. He was one of the most powerful warriors of the Silver Flame Sea. Luli didn't know how many days he had been in closed-door cultivation. He didn't know that a famous powerful warrior was coming. For the past few days, he had forgotten everything. As long as no one from the outside world came in, he would not wake up. For the past few days, he had been refining the medicinal power bit by bit. Every part of his body had absorbed the medicinal power. He could feel that his physical body could transform at any time. It was very likely that he would enter the second stage, the qualitative change of his physical body. He was so excited that he even forgot about the dangerous situation he was in at the moment. His mind was completely immersed in it. He saw a glimmer of hope for the great completion of the supreme divine body. Originally, he did not have much hope and had never thought of cultivating the supreme divine physique to the great accomplishment. He knew very well how difficult it was to cultivate the supreme divine physique. This time, as long as his physical body could transform, he would have hope of successfully cultivating the supreme God body. There was still a lot of energy left in his body. Luli continued to consume. He dared not to consume too much of the energy for fear of wasting it. The heavenly blessing fruit was indeed a peerless divine medicine. Its medicinal power was terrifying. Boom, 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 boom. Half a day later, the sky suddenly trembled. Luli looked up at once. He saw a scene in his mind. A huge space portal appeared in the sky. From the portal, a golden chariot whooshed out. A strong old man in a black robe with disheveled hair was standing on the chariot. He did not have a strong chi and energy, nor did he look special. He seemed to be average, but his eyes were sharp, like two sharp knives. He seemed to be looking at Luli from the distance, which made Luli tremble. Unparalleled powerful warrior. Luli's expressions changed. Soon, the scene in his mind disappeared. But Luli believed that the powerful warrior must be outside. That was not an illusion. It was a powerful skill released by that powerful warrior. That was right. In addition to Luli, everyone outside the island was thinking about the same thing. They all felt they were being glanced at by the sharp eyes. Everyone, including the warriors of the fifth tribulation, felt their hearts skip a beat. Whoosh, 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 Wu Qing flew up with all the patriarchs as well as many warriors. Even Master Red Sun flew up. All of them bowed to the slovenly old man standing on the chariot. Greetings, forefather. Wu Qing and the others behaved like lambs in front of the mad dog. Not only was the mad dog crazy outside, he was crazy in the family as well. He would slap any young generation that he disliked without giving them any face. Years ago, a young generation murmured something and the mad dog slapped him to death. Greetings, Lord. Master Red Sun and the others bowed. Actually, Master Red Sun was older than the mad dog. That being said, age did not matter in this world. The more powerful one was the Lord. The mad dog glanced over but didn't say anything. He snorted to Wu Qing and the others, a bunch of good-for-nothings. You can't even kill a bastard. What are you doing here? Wu Qing and the others were scolded, but they dared not to talk back. They only admitted their mistakes. The mad dog turned to the blazing island. He said nothing. The chariot he was on slowly moved forward. Whoosh, 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 the group of people immediately followed, including Wu Qing, Master Scarlet Sun, and the others. 40 to 55 tribulation Empyrean gods followed. This group of people wanted to curry favor with the old mad dog, and they also wanted to see the old mad dog's shocking methods. Oh no! Luli sensed something was wrong. The mad dog wasn't close yet, but somehow Luli felt pressured. Just now, the look from the mad dog gave Luli a strong feeling. A powerful warrior of the sixth tribulation realm must have come. The Wu family had sent a great patriarch to kill him. What should I do? Many thoughts came to Luli's mind. Without any hesitation, he retreated into the area of white flames. He had a strong feeling that the area of white flames might not be able to stop the super-powerful warrior. The Wu family would not send out an average warrior. Since they sent a great patriarch, they must be confident. The Wu family knew that Luli could stand white flame. How could they send out an average warrior? Then, there was only one way left for him, to go into the flames of destruction. Would he be able to stand it? He had seen the black flames in the center from the distance. He didn't have to think too much. Even if he were 10 or 100 times stronger, he would be burned into ashes in no time, not to mention his current physical strength. Even Emperor Z had to rely on the flames of destruction to refine his body. Luli didn't even have a small success in his immortal body, let alone a complete success. Whoosh! From outside came a noise. A chariot flew into the area of white flames. The mad dog's face became clearer. The mad dog stopped 2 miles away from Luli, stared at him coldly and said, "You should not have come to the silver flames sea. Kill yourself and I will let you die in one piece." Chapter 2461. Even though the mad old dog was called the mad old dog, he had his pride. He would not stoop to killing a warrior of Luli's level. If it were not for the fact that the family patriarch had invited him in person, he would not have come here. Therefore, when Mad Old sensed that Luli's realm was too low and he was not powerful, Mad Old didn't even bother to kill him. For Mad Old, Luli was no different from an ant that he could crush. Luli felt hopeless when he saw the Mad Old. This man was too powerful, more powerful than all his opponents. Even the great patriarch of the Shan family was not as powerful as the Mad Old. This man was like a sharp saber. Anyone who touched him would be hurt. Luli thought quickly. He realized that he had only one way to go, which was to consume the energy in his avatar and see if his body could be improved. If his body could be transformed, he might have a chance to run into the flames of destruction and survive. Alright, Luli was upset. He cupped his fists and said with a bitter smile, "You are too powerful. I have only cultivated for a short time and I cannot defeat you. I am willing to end my own life. Please give me some time." Luli sat on the ground with his legs crossed. He mobilized divine energy to consume the rest of the energy. He had a feeling that his body was on the verge of transformation. Now that he was consuming the energy, it might be happening. The Mad Old sensed Luli's situation but did not take it seriously. As far as he was concerned, Luli was like a grasshopper on a rope. Luli could not get away no matter how hard he tried. Since Luli had agreed to end his own life, the Mad Old would not do anything. It would be shameful for the Mad Old to kill a warrior like Luli at such a young age. Luli was consuming the energy quickly. After the time for half an incense stick to burn, the warriors outside were confused. The Mad Old was so powerful that he could kill Luli in one move. Why hadn't Luli come out after such a long time? After the time for 1 incense stick to burn, Luli still did not come out. The Mad Old was losing his patience. He said coldly, "Kid, there is no need to play these tricks or waste time. These tricks are useless. Do not diminish the reputation of the Master of 1,000 Transformations." The time for 1 incense stick to burn. Luli did not open his eyes. He said, "How about the time for 1 incense stick to burn? Of course, if you think something will go wrong, you can kill me now." Ha ha! Old Mad Dog smiled and didn't say anything. He narrowed his eyes and waited. Now, he was looking forward to it. He wanted to see what Luli could do in the time for 1 incense stick to burn. The people outside were getting anxious. especially those from the Wu family. However, they weren't worried that something would happen to old Mad Dog. This patriarch was too strong. Less than a martial emperor could kill him in the entire Silver Flame Sea region. After Lu Li finished speaking, he ignored the old Mad Dog. If the old Mad Dog wanted to kill him, then he could only accept his fate. The divine power in his body circulated wildly, sending the remaining medicinal energy throughout his body, strengthening it. After the time for half an incense stick to burn, the feeling in Lu Li's mind was getting stronger. He felt like he was a bug that was about to break out of its cocoon. As long as this thin cocoon was broken, he would transform from a worm into a butterfly. The divine power in his body was circulating more and more violently. The blood in his body was gradually strengthening. Most importantly, as the divine power circulated in his body, he suddenly felt the sound of raging waves. Whoosh, 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 the sound was getting louder. Even Lu Li's soul was trembling. He knew this moment was coming. His body was going to change, and he was about to enter the second stage. Whoosh, 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 divine energy was being mobilized and the sound of waves was getting louder. The mad old dog was surprised. He took a closer look at Lu Li and murmured in surprise, surging qi and blood. Initial success in immortal body? Old Mad Dog didn't know much about immortal body. That being said, he was born in a family of a martial emperor, and he had lived for so many years. He had seen a lot and he could tell something. Old Mad Dog still didn't intend to take action. Initial success of immortal body was nothing for him. Even if Lu Li's immortal body was at the initial success, Lu Li's abilities would only be comparable to a fifth tribulation warrior at best. For old Mad Dog, Lu Li was still too weak. Splash, splash, the sound inside Lu Li's body was getting louder. Following that, Lu Li's body glowed in a golden light. He was like a Buddha. His skin was glistening as if it were made of gold. His skin was getting brighter and the sound inside his body was getting louder. Surges of horrifying energy spread out as if an ancient beast was waking up. Even though Wu Qing and the others were far away, they could feel the surging energy. Even the tens of thousands of people outside the island felt something was wrong, as if there was a ferocious beast on the island. This is getting interesting. Old Mad Dog nodded. A glint of bloodthirst rose in his eyes. If Lu Li didn't kill himself or tried to rush into the flames of destruction, Old Mad Dog would show no mercy. It would be a great honor for him to kill a genius with the initial success of immortal body. Splash, 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 the sound inside Lu Li's body was getting louder. The glow around him was getting brighter and his energy was getting stronger. Lu Li was getting excited. Finally, his immortal body was about to reach the initial success. It was time for him to rush into the flames of destruction. Wait, all of a sudden, Lu Li's heart was pounding. He opened his eyes and looked into the sky. At the same time, Old Mad Dog looked into the sky as well. His pupils contracted. He came to his senses at once and shouted, "Get out, as far as you can, now!" Boom, 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 boom. As soon as Old Mad Dog finished his words, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The sky darkened all of a sudden. Many thunderbolts were moving around in the clouds. Qi and energy that could destroy heaven and earth were coming from above. Run! Wu Qing and the others came back to their senses. They didn't need Old Mad Dog's reminder. Everyone's soul was pounding and they all sensed fatal danger. Many people didn't know, but Wu Qing and the other powerful warriors did. The thunderbolts were not regular thunderbolts, but the real thunder of destruction. This was one of the most horrifying thunderbolts in the third heaven. It was said that such thunderbolts would occasionally appear during the sixth heaven's tribulation. All of them were at the fifth heaven and many of them were at the fourth heaven. How could they survive the real thunder of destruction that only appeared during the sixth heaven's tribulation? Run, run, those outside the island were frightened. They didn't know why this was happening, but they knew one thing. If they couldn't get out of the area of lightning, none of them would survive today. Thunder tribulation? Luli blinked, a little unsure. The crippled Zen master once said that when he reached the second level of the supreme immortal body, there would be thunder tribulation. At first, Luli thought it was just the regular thunderbolts. He didn't know that the thunderbolts were so horrifying. Swish, before he could react, a bolt of lightning whooshed down. It was black in color, but there was a hint of gold in the darkness, as if there was a golden dragon inside. Boom! There was a hole in the area where Luli was. He was smashed down. He was trembling. Black smoke came out from his skin. Arcs of thunderbolts were running around in his body. Die! Chapter 2462. Hiss. As soon as the mad old hound moved, the thunderclouds above him seemed to be on a rampage. Hundreds of thunderbolts struck down. This time, they were not aimed at Luli, but at the mad old hound. *T, I've been implicated. The mad old dog swore. It was Luli who was going to go through the thunder tribulation. What the mad old dog did was to help Luli attract the thunder tribulation. His body flew outwards, but the lightning chased after him and struck his body. Ah, ah, ah! Green smoke rose from the old mad dog's body as he trembled uncontrollably. His eyes were filled with shock. This lightning wasn't true annihilation thunder. He had encountered true annihilation thunder during his sixth heavenly tribulation, and its might wasn't as tyrannical as this. Luli's eyes glowed when he saw smoke coming out of the mad dog's body, and his eyes filled with surprise. He pondered for a moment, then flew up and charged at the old mad dog. The old mad dog should be injured. Luli didn't want to give him any chance to breathe. Even if he could not kill him with thunderbolts, he must injure him badly. Whoosh! His speed was many times faster than before. In the blink of an eye, he had reached Old Mad Dog. Old Mad Dog was still trembling. Seeing that Luli was coming, the tens of thousands of thunder dragons whooshed down. Dozens of them were aimed at Luli and hundreds of others were coming to Luli. Little bastard, you're courting death. The mad old dog was enraged. He raised his hand and slapped at Luli. Luli was smashed away. Blood gushed out from his mouth and his chest caved in. There was no doubt about the old mad hound's attacking power. If it were not for the fact that Luli had released the dragon skill and his initial success in the immortal body, which made his defense much stronger than before, Luli would have been killed by the old mad hound. Of course, the old mad dog was worried about the thunder and lightning, so he did not release a powerful killer move in a hurry. Boom, boom, boom! Hundreds of lightning dragons smashed into the old mad dog's body again. More black smoke rose from the old mad dog's body, and his body trembled. He glared at Luli, only to see that Luli seemed to be fine after being hit by dozens of thunderbolts. More importantly, he found that Luli's wounds were recovering quickly. Luli's chest was caved in by Luli, but now it seemed to be completely healed. This isn't an ordinary lightning. It should be the auspicious lightning of a lesser success divine physique. Mad Old came back to his senses. The thunderbolts might be horrifying to them, but not to Luli. Not only could thunderbolts not kill Luli, but they could also heal and purify his body. The golden glare in the thunderbolts was a kind of origin energy in heaven and earth. It could help Luli strengthen his body and heal his wounds. In other words, the thunderbolts could not kill Luli. When Luli was injured, the thunderbolts would heal him, unless Luli could be killed in one move. Boom, boom, boom! The thunderclouds in the sky trembled as the third bolt of lightning descended. There were hundreds of times more lightning than the second bolt, and there were at least 1,000,000 lightning dragons that covered the surrounding millions of kilometers. the lightning bolts flew in all directions, causing the space around them to tremble violently, greatly reducing the speed of the people who were fleeing. Go! Mad as Mad Old was, he was not an idiot. Thousands of thunderbolts were coming at him. The closer he was to Luli, the more thunderbolts he would attract. If Luli dashed over, half of the thunderbolts would land on Mad Old. The thunderbolts could not kill Mad Old for now. But if he were struck by tens of thousands of thunderbolts, he would be seriously injured. By the fourth strike, he might be killed. Mad Old was confident that he could kill Luli in one move. But he was not sure, if Luli was killed, would the subsequent thunderbolts be transferred to him? If it was transferred to him, he would definitely die. Mad Old was the most promising warrior of the Wu family to reach the Emperor realm. He didn't want to die here. It would not be worthwhile for him to die because of a puny warrior. Therefore, Mad Old decided to leave. Boom, boom, boom! Mad Old was struck by thousands of thunderbolts. He was injured again. Without any hesitation, Mad Old flew away in a blur. Whoosh! Luli dashed out from the island. He glanced over and saw that many warriors were killed by thunderbolt. He put on a cruel smile. He took out a set of armor and put it on. Then, he shot forward like an arrow. Every time, thunderbolts would hurt him and hurt him. But the golden thunderbolts in the thunderbolts would heal his body quickly. Just now, he was attacked by Mad Old and his wounds were healed in an instant, which surprised and delighted him. He was almost immortal under thunderbolts as long as he was not killed instantly. If so, what was there to be afraid of? He dashed on at the top of his speed. He was as fast as a warrior of the fifth tribulation. He went to the west because that was the place with the most people. No matter for what reason they came here, none of them were here to save him. They were here to kill him or to laugh at him. Why would he show them mercy? Boom, boom, boom! The fifth lightning bolt descended. This time, a total of 10 million lightning bolts descended, enveloping an area of 10 million kilometers. Moreover, the lightning bolts caused the space around them to tremble violently. The speed of those who were fleeing was greatly reduced, and some were even unable to fly. Many people screamed for their parents and ran around, especially the young masters and young ladies. They were just here to enjoy the show. Little did they expect that they would be in such a predicament. Fortunately, the thunderbolts were mainly concentrated around Luli. With Luli as the center, the thunderbolts were the densest. Thunderbolts fell down like rain, so dense that it was quite scary. In other areas there were fewer thunderbolts. The further away from Luli, the less thunderbolts there were. But no matter how many thunderbolts there were, the space within a radius of tens of thousands of miles was trembling. Everyone felt like they were a boat in a raging sea, swaying from side to side and unable to escape. Whoosh! Luli dashed over with thousands of thunderbolts. The warriors nearby were scared out of their wit. A young master's lips turned pale. He yelled in terror, "Successor of 1,000 transformations, don't come over. We are just here to have a look. We are not here to kill you." A young lady trembled in fear. Tears welled up in her eyes. She said with trembling lips, "Successor of 1,000 transformations, we are not here to kill you. We are just here to enjoy the show." "Enjoy the show?" Luli grinned and said with a sneer, "You are here to see how I die, right? If you have the guts to come here, then you should be prepared to die." Luli dashed over. Dozens of warriors were drowned in thunderbolt. There was a fifth-rank warrior who used a piece of artifact as a shield. When Luli got closer, thousands of thunderbolts struck, and that warrior was reduced to ashes. "Keep going." Luli flew over and used psychic power to check. When he saw several patriarchs of the Wu family, he dashed over like a mad dragon and chased after them. The space here was trembling, but it did not affect Luli. As a matter of fact, the reason why everyone was slowed down was not because of the space trembling, but because their divine energy was disturbed. Divine energy was the source of strength. When it was disturbed, one could not speed up. Luli was only relying on his physical strength, so his speed was not affected. He dashed on like a mad dragon and soon caught up with the patriarchs of the Wu family. Charge! There were 4 patriarchs of the Wu family here. They knew they could not get away, so they might as well kill Luli. Chapter 2463. Purgatory. Apart from a small number of old demons that ran away at the beginning, such as Master Red Sun and some others, the rest were all trapped inside. There were more and more thunderbolts. Those inside could not get out yet, and they wouldn't be able to later. Master Red Sun stood on the sea outside, looking at the falling thunderbolt. He and the old demons looked at each other without saying anything. The others were somewhat baffled, but Master Scarlet Sun was the only one who could guess a little. Initial success of the immortal body and the tribulation of thunder. Master Red Sun sighed. He knew that most of the people inside were doomed. This tribulation thunder was not an average one. Even though Luli would be half dead, he would not die in the end. None of the others could stand it. Even Wu Qing would have a hard time. As for the mad old dog, he ran away just now. Master Red Sun saw it with his own eyes. Boom, boom, boom. Tens of thousands of thunderbolts were falling down. It was a breathtaking scene. Everyone inside used all kinds of treasures or means to stop the thunderbolt. Luli was wandering around inside. The thunderbolts around him were the densest. There were thunderbolts whooshing towards him almost constantly. Therefore, no matter which direction he flew to, thunderbolts would fall down. Once there were people around him, most of the thunderbolts would be aimed at them. Many people were burnt to ashes and smashed into the sea. Luli flew over and put away the interspatial rings, relic weapons and armors. He was overjoyed. The 4 patriarchs of the Wu family were killed. There must be a lot of wealth in their interspatial rings. There are old demons and patriarchs of the Wu family over there. Luli didn't care about the young masters, young ladies and young warriors anymore. He used his psychic power to the extreme and scanned the nearby area. Soon, he put on a smile. He found Wu Qing and a patriarch hiding under a reef. There were dozens of young warriors nearby. Wu Qing was smart enough to think of a covert plan. Whoosh! Luli flew over at once. The dozens of young warriors lost all hope when they saw Luli coming at them. They didn't care about Wu Qing and the patriarch anymore. They tried their best to fly away in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. Under the tens of thousands of thunderbolts, dozens of warriors were turned into ashes in an instant. Wu Qing and the other patriarch looked at each other. Then they rushed towards Luli. Rip! Luli released the ghost cut from the distance. A ray of sword light dashed toward Wu Qing and Luli after several turns. The saber light wasn't very powerful. The problem was the saber light would draw in the nearby heaven and earth powers. As the power of heaven and earth flowed over, the nearby lightning powers would naturally be drawn in as well. In an instant, tens of thousands of lightning powers surged forward and Wu Qing and Jian Shaotian were enveloped by the lightning powers. Crack, 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 the 2 of them were struck by the lightning until their bodies were smoking and their teeth were chattering. The 2 of them took out their treasures to block a portion of the lightning. Otherwise, they would have been in a terrible state. Rip! Luli took out his saber. He kept releasing the Slayer's ghost slash to attract Thunderbolt. Wu Qing bellowed, "Bastard, even if I have to die, I will drag you down with me." Wu Qing roared. After that, a long spear appeared in his hand as his body shone with a blinding radiance. The long spear in his hand trembled as he stabbed out violently. Rip! Everywhere the spear was at, space would be torn apart. A shadow of the spear stabbed toward Luli in the speed of lightning. Luli had no time to react or dodge. Seeing that the spear was about to hit his head, he had to lean back. Bang! The spear reached Lu Li's chest. A bloody hole appeared. The spear went through him and came out from the back of his neck, almost hitting his head. Go to hell! Lu Li kept releasing the Slayer's ghost cut in a rage. Countless thunderbolts whooshed on. This time, Wu Qing could not stand it anymore. Soon, he was badly injured and fell to the ground. The other patriarch took action as well. After a flash of light, Lu Li's back was left with a deep wound. A fifth tribulation warrior's attack was not weak. If it were not for the fact that Lu Li had a minor completion in the immortal body, he would not have survived. Whoosh, 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 countless thunderbolts landed on Lu Li. His body was burnt over and over again, but he would recover quickly. His previous wounds were recovering as well. Every time between destruction and rebirth, his body would be improved. Go on. After Wu Qing and the other patriarch died, Lu Li put away their interspatial rings and rushed toward another direction. This time there were many warriors. Those warriors had been dominating the Silver Flames Sea for years. Now that they could survive, they must have a lot of wealth in their interspatial rings. How could Lu Li miss such a good chance? He flew over like a gust of wind. He used psychic power to check and saw several warriors. When the old demons saw Lu Li rushing over, their faces turned pale with fright. One of them shouted at once, "Brother, calm down. We are not enemies. I once had a relationship with the King of Thousand Changes." Swish! What answered the warriors was a ray of sword light followed by thousands of thunderbolts. The warriors ran around, screaming for their parent. But where could they run to when there were so many thunderbolts? So miserable! Outside, Master of Red Sun and the others had been checking inside with psychic power. Master of Red Sun wanted to see Lu Li being killed, but after Wu Qing and the others were killed by thunderbolts, Master of Red Sun knew there was no hope. The warriors in the area of thunderbolts could only use 50 or 60% of their abilities. It was impossible for them to kill Lu Li. Not many of them could make it out. There were thunderbolts everywhere. It was difficult to move through the area of thunderbolt. Boom, boom, boom. None of the tens of thousands of young masters and young ladies made it out. Lu Li didn't even have to guide thunderbolts over. They were all killed by the random thunderbolt. Whoosh! 17 warriors were lucky enough to make it out of the area of thunderbolts by a hair's breadth. They didn't stop. They ran to the distance quickly. An hour later, there was nobody left in the area of thunderbolt. Everyone was killed. Even so, the thunderbolts didn't stop. They kept on coming. Lu Li put away all the interspatial rings. He was overjoyed. He had made a fortune this time. The patriarchs of the Wu family and the warriors must have great wealth in their interspatial rings. He wondered how many divine stones and treasures he could get this time. Whoosh! Lu Li flew out of the area of thunderbolts quickly. He sensed that Master Red Sun and the others were outside. Let's go! Seeing that Lu Li was coming, Master Red Sun and the others didn't dare to stay any longer. They sped up and ran to the distance. Lu Li chased after them for a while. He had to stop when he realized he couldn't catch up with them. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder and lightning continued to rumble. There were also some scouts from various clans hiding in the nearby sea. When they saw this terrifying scene, all of their hearts palpitated. They all knew that after today, the Silver Flame Sea would be turned upside down. Dozens of warriors and 10 patriarchs of the Wu family had died. It was impossible not to make a scene. Would Emperor Yang be enraged? Would he do it himself? If Audharch was enraged, the entire Silver Flame Sea region would probably tremble, right? P.S. I am tired. I only wrote 2 chapters in one morning and one afternoon. I am exhausted both physically and mentally. Chapter 2464. Sunlight Emperor was not enraged because the Wu family patriarch did not report this to Sunlight Emperor. The Wu family patriarch, on the other hand, was enraged. More than half of the powerful warriors of the Wu family activated the space portals and teleported to the blazing island. The lightning tribulation lasted for only 2 hours. When it was over, Lu Li used his skill to fly across the void. Under the watch of some scouts, he flew to the north. As a matter of fact, Lu Li knew about the scouts, but he did not kill them because he did not want others to know that he had flown away. He kept flying to the north. Every time, he would stop for a while so that people nearby could see him. After flying through the void 5 times, he entered a city, put on a disguise, and teleported away. After teleporting dozens of times, he quietly left the city. After putting on a disguise, he flew through the void and left. This time, he flew towards the south. That's right, he had turned back. After flying through the void 3 times, he found that there was no one nearby. He immediately disguised himself and entered the city, teleporting towards the blazing island. The most dangerous place was the safest. Lu Li knew that the Wu family would be enraged after he killed so many warriors of the Wu family. Many powerful warriors would come after him. It was dangerous for him to fly across the void. Therefore, he flew to the north on purpose and then came back. His divine body had just achieved initial success, and it was not stable yet. He needed time to stabilize his realm. Undoubtedly, cultivating in the white flames was safe. More importantly, his divine body had achieved initial success. His chi and energy seemed to have changed. He felt he had a different body. He believed that even if there were soul chasers in the Silver Flames Sea, they would not be able to track him down. The blazing island was full of flames which could isolate his chi and energy. So many people had died there. How could anyone go there? In the area of white flames, only warriors of the 6th tribulation would be able to sense his presence. Of course, hiding on Blazing Island also posed a certain level of danger. If a few 6th tribulation experts from the Wu clan came, he would have nowhere to escape to in Blazing Island. Flying across the void was dangerous. After much consideration, Lu Li decided to stay on the Blazing Island for a while. The first was to refine his body and the second was to stay out of the limelight. Lu Li teleported along the way. After hundreds of teleportations, he hid in a small city. He bribed a waiter to gather information from the outside world while he secluded himself in his room. It was a mess out there. The Wu family had mobilized over 1 million warriors to hunt him down. 5 of the 6th tribulation warriors of the Wu family were sent out, including the mad old man, to the north. At the moment, the north was surrounded by dozens of interception nets. If Lu Li were to fly across the void to the north, he would be discovered immediately. Lu Li stayed in the city for 10 days. The city was peaceful. There were scouts in the city, but nobody had locked on to him. No powerful warriors came over either. Lu Li set off secretly. He even faked his identity as a scout of a small family. That scout was killed by him, and the identity token was taken by him. All the information matched. Lu Li teleported all the way to the blazing island. It took him 10 days to teleport to a place nearby and sneak into the blazing island on his own. There was not a single person near the blazing island. So many people had died here, and after such a fierce battle, who would stay here? Making sure that nobody was around, Lu Li entered the blazing island and went directly to the white flame area. His divine body had a small success, and he had refined the blessing fruit. His resistance to fire had increased greatly. Although he was burned by the white flame, he could resist it easily. Lu Li did not cultivate after he arrived. Instead, he asked Blood Fairy if she dared to come out. If Blood Fairy could come out, she could set up some divine runes and restrictions. That would be safer. I'm fine. Blood Fairy snuck out from Lu Li's body. As a soul, she was only afraid of soul attacks, not physical ones. However, it did not dare to test destructive blaze. This white flame was still unable to harm it. Luli did not expect that white flame would not affect Blood Fairy. If he had known, he would have asked Blood Fairy to build some teleportation formations. Luli thought about it and asked Blood Fairy to build some one-way teleportation formations. After all, he couldn't fly here. He could teleport as long as he left Blazing Island. It was easy to build a one-way teleportation formation. It took Luli 2 days to finish. Then, Luli built some inhibition formations on the periphery and asked Blood Fairy to build some formations of illusion, confusion, and destruction. He had set up all the divine runes he could. He did not expect the teleportation formations to be able to withstand the enemy's attack. He just hoped that he could have a chance to escape. While Blood Fairy was working, Luli refined his body in peace. He had achieved initial success in his divine body. Luli believed that in terms of defense, strength, and speed, he could compare with warriors of the Fifth Tribulation. What surprised Luli was, his energy had changed. Previously, when others looked at him, he was at the peak of the Second Tribulation. Now, when someone checked, Luli was at the peak of the Third Tribulation. Does one lightning test mean I have passed the heavens test? Luli could not figure it out. In any case, it was a good thing that he could reach the peak of the Third Tribulation. Luli relied on his physical strength, and he no longer valued his realm. That being said, the energy at the peak of the Second Tribulation was easily underestimated. On the other hand, the energy at the peak of the Third Tribulation would not be so obvious. While cultivating divine energy, Luli relied on the flames to refine his body. Every now and then, he would go out and consume dozens of herbs. Then, he would come back in and consume the energy. He planned to consume all of that stump. He even dug out the root. Almost all the fire ants were consumed by him. As long as nobody came to disturb him, he planned to cultivate here for a few years. For one thing, he could stabilize his divine body, and for another, he could lie low. Also, he had a vague feeling that his second-rate divine body was different from before. Perhaps there would be some special divine abilities, but he needed time to explore them. Soon, half a year had passed. The Blazing Island had been quiet. Nobody came. Though many people were still discussing, nobody came. Everyone had gathered at the north. Their attention was on the north. Because something interesting happened at the north. Warriors and powerful warriors of the Wu family were ambushed. It was not just one or two. Many were killed. Many mysterious people showed up. They were running around and killing people. The situation was a mess. The Wu family had been tracking Luli. Now that Luli was missing, why were there so many mysterious people? Someone wondered. Those mysterious people were in cahoots with the ones that attacked the battleships of the Blazing Island. Since they were dressed alike and their backgrounds were mysterious, no one could find out who they were after they were killed. Some even suspected that Luli was with those people. Those people were the surviving forces of Emperor Z. They had come to the Silver Flame Sea to seek revenge. No matter what, the waters had been muddied. The Wu family had mobilized 1 million people, but over 100,000 of them had been killed in half a year. More than 10 elders of the Wu family had died as well. The Wu family patriarch had personally gone to the north to oversee things. Eventually, Sunlight Emperor learned of this. It was impossible to keep such a serious matter from him. However, Sunlight Emperor was not angry when he was informed. He only told the Wu family patriarch to deal with it and not to disturb him unless it was a matter of life and death. Chapter 2465. Who were those mysterious people? This question lingered in the minds of everyone on the Silver Flame continent. However, one thing was certain. This group of mysterious people was not from the Silver Flame Sea region. The major forces of the Silver Flame Sea region knew each other very well. They even knew how many experts each family and faction had. Although there were countless old demons in the Silver Flame Sea region, it was impossible for them to join forces. Even if they joined forces, the Wu family had killed dozens of people, but not a single one of them had been identified. In other words, the dozens of people who were killed were not from the Silver Flame Sea region. Among the people who were killed, there were more than 10 Fifth Tribulation experts. Only superpowers could mobilize so many Fifth Tribulation experts. That could only be people from other continents. To the north of the Silver Flame Sea was the Flying Fire continent, and to the south was the Divine Wind continent. It was unlikely for the Divine Wind continent to do so, as the Divine Wind continent's major factions would not dare to become enemies with the Silver Flame Sea region's major factions. There was only one possibility left. This group of people came from the Flying Fire continent. The Soaring Fire continent was the second largest continent within the third layer of the heavens. There were as many experts as there were clouds in the sky, as well as countless great factions and ancient races. It was understandable that a superpower would come to the Silver Flame Sea region to stir up trouble. The Flying Fire continent's superpowers were attacking the Silver Flame Sea region. The news quickly spread throughout the entire Silver Flame Sea region. At the same time, the Wu family patriarch also gathered the patriarchs of the other forces and some old demons of the Silver Flame Sea region to gather at Godi City in the north. The Heavenly Flame Island's warship had been attacked, and the Wu family's men had been killed. This time, the battle had started in the north. The north side was Godi's territory. Making a move in Godi's territory was disrespectful to the Go clan. This time, they had offended the three major powers. The old demons of the Silver Flame Sea region were also furious. If only one or two old demons had entered, it wouldn't have mattered. In fact, if this faction appeared openly and wanted to fight for hegemony in the Silver Flame Sea region, it would be understandable. However, this force was secretive and specialized in crafty plots, which inevitably aroused the disgust of some old devils. Although the old demons of the Silver Flame Sea region were constantly fighting amongst themselves and often fought to the death, the old demons of the Silver Flame Sea region never stopped fighting amongst themselves. However, they had stayed in the Silver Flame Sea region for many years and had long regarded this place as their home. It was normal for a family to fight and quarrel, but if outsiders came to bully them, they would unite against them. The experts in King Go City gathered, and the major factions quickly came to an agreement. They each mobilized their men to search for this mysterious group of people. They would try their best to capture them alive and find a way to interrogate the mastermind behind this. Countless people activated the teleportation portals, and a few large clans offered sky-high rewards, calling for everyone in the Silver Flame Sea region to move out and defend against the foreign enemies. Countless powerful warriors swarmed toward the north, tracking down those mysterious warriors all over the world. At this moment, people seemed to have forgotten about Luli. Subconsciously, they thought Luli was with those warriors. The reason why the mysterious people were making a scene at the north of the Silver Flame Seas was to take Luli away. Luli, on the other hand, had a comfortable life at the Blazing Island. Nobody disturbed him. He refined his body with flames and would go out to consume dozens of herbs every now and then. When he had nothing to do, he would study the fundamental principle of formation of sound. Most of the people in the Silver Flame Sea region had turned their attention to the north. No one cared about Blazing Island anymore. The elixirs here were consumed by Luli and many died here. It was unlucky. What was more, many of the Wu family had died here. Who wouldn't come here? Many powerful warriors gathered at the north. Finally, the mysterious warriors were found and many of them were killed. That being said, all the mysterious warriors knew a mysterious escaping skill that could increase their speed for a short period of time. It was difficult to chase them down. The mysterious warriors all fled to the north. Naturally, the Silver Flame Sea region mobilized more powerful warriors to hunt them down. That being said, the mysterious warriors were skilled in escaping skills. The major clans and many old warriors went after them. After half a year, they only managed to kill over 100. The remaining hundreds fled to the Flying Fire continent. After the mysterious warriors fled to the Flying Fire continent, the Silver Flame Sea region didn't go after them. Powerful warriors of the Godly Wind continent didn't dare to enter the Silver Flame Sea region. Similarly, powerful warriors of the Silver Flame Sea region didn't dare to go to the Flying Fire continent. For those of the Silver Flame Sea region, this was the countryside and the Flying Fire continent was the big city. If they dared to go to the big cities, they would be chased out or even killed. Back in the days, Sunlight Emperor once went to the Flying Fire continent. Half a year later, he was forced to leave. After he came back, he went into closed-door cultivation for 100 years. Even though it was not confirmed that he was injured, the fact that he didn't show up for 100 years was proof enough. The mysterious warriors retreated to the Flying Fire continent. The matter had come to an end. The families of the Silver Flame Sea region worked together and drove the mysterious warriors back to the Flying Fire continent. For those of the Silver Flame Sea region, it was a great victory. Of course, this was only on the surface. In fact, the Wu family had suffered a great loss. The mysterious warriors only killed over 100 people, but the Wu family lost more than 100,000. Both sides had lost warriors of the fifth tribulation. More importantly, the Wu family was on their home ground. Almost half of the powerful warriors of the Silver Flame Sea region had come out to fight off the mysterious warriors. This was not something to be proud of. It was even shameful. What was more, Luli had killed so many people at the Blazing Island. The Wu family had suffered a great loss and lost face, but Luli was missing and the mysterious warriors had retreated to the Flying Fire continent. What could they do? He could only suppress his anger in his heart. The Silver Flame Sea region had quieted down. What about the Wu family, the Blazing Island and some old warriors of the Wu family? If they went looking for trouble, they would be in trouble. The Blazing Island seemed to have been forgotten. Luli had been cultivating here all by himself for over a year. Nobody entered the island, not even close. Luli had forgotten about the disputes outside. During the year, his initial success in a mortal body had been stabilized. His understanding of the law of sound had improved, and he had learned several key points. The only thing Luli regretted was his initial success in a mortal body. He always felt he could awaken some kind of ability, but he could not learn it. He felt something was missing. Over the past year, Blood Fairy's progress had been remarkable. She had been constantly comprehending the primordial divine inscriptions, and had improved tremendously. She had begun to unravel the mysteries of the ancient landscape painting and the bugle horn. Recently, Luli had been studying the formation of sound. He had reached a critical stage. He could not care about anything else. He immersed himself in the dreamland. He had lost track of time, the danger that could happen at any time, and everything else. He had been cultivating for 11 years. Apart from a short nap when he could not stand it, Luli would cultivate as soon as he woke up. Blood Fairy had been monitoring the surroundings. Once someone came, she would know. Therefore, Luli did not care about anything else. Today, Luli finally woke up. It was not because he had mastered the formation of sound, but because Blood Fairy had told him that someone was approaching the island. How long have I been cultivating? Chapter 2466. The person who came was an old devil who cultivated the fire element. He came here to try his luck, to see if there was a super divine medicine like the blessing fruit. As soon as he entered the island, Blood Fairy sensed his presence. Luli sensed that the patterns he built were triggered. That warrior had entered the area of red flames. A glint of killing intent rose in Luli's eyes. He was ready to kill this man. Whether this man was from the Wu family or not, Luli had to kill him. If the information was leaked, Lu Li's years of hiding would be pointless. The Wu family would organize another team to intercept him. That warrior entered the area of purple flames with a red bead in his hand. It seemed to be able to protect him from fire. Lu Li used the trace of Tao to sense. He could tell that this warrior was not particularly strong, only at the initial stage of the fifth tribulation. Lu Li thought for a moment and said to Blood Fairy, "Blood Fairy, lure him to the edge of the area of white flames." Blood Fairy's tentacles reached out and a horn appeared in front of the warrior. Old Devil had been looking for the divine medicine. When he found Blood Fairy, he was overjoyed. He reached out to grab her. Blood Fairy would not let him grab her. Besides, she was a soul. Even if she wanted to, she might not be able to. Blood Fairy shrank back at once. That warrior chased after her. All herbs were intelligent. As far as he was concerned, Blood Fairy's escape was a miracle. Soon, Blood Fairy's tentacles went back to the area of white flames. The warrior came to the edge of the area of white flames as well. He was afraid and regretful, but he did not dare to enter the area of white flames. Swish, right at that moment, a ray of sword light came from the area of white flames. The ray of sword light made several turns and swept across with white flames. The warrior was still regretting that he did not capture Blood Fairy. He reacted too slowly and was enveloped by the white flames. Black smoke rose from his body. He rolled around on the ground in pain. Run! His instinct for survival helped him come back to his senses. Even though he was badly wounded, he was ready to fly away. Right at that moment, a man dashed out from the area of white flames and bumped into the warrior. A pair of strong hands even hugged the warrior tightly. Ah! The warrior was scared out of his wits. With a dark glare in his hand, he smashed at Lu Li's chest. Lu Li did not care. He rolled over with the warrior in his arms into the area of white flames. Ah! The old devil screamed a few times, and then he was quickly burned to death. White Flame was still unable to resist, otherwise, he would have chased after her. Before he died, he slapped Lu Li twice. Lu Li grimaced in pain and twitched in pain. That man was burnt to death, but Lu Li was still lying on the ground, holding the burnt body. Suddenly, Lu Li was surprised. Just now, when the old devil attacked him, he felt countless invisible energy surging in his body, and near his chest, the invisible energy converged toward the place where he was attacked. Could it be? Lu Li threw the scorched body away and sat with his legs crossed to sense the energy carefully. Just now, the old devil's two palms were very powerful, but apart from the pain, he didn't suffer any serious injuries. Was it because of the energy? Where did this energy come from? After a while, Lu Li noticed that the energy had gone back into his body. It was hiding in every inch of his flesh and blood. If he didn't look carefully, he wouldn't be able to tell. He pondered for a moment and recalled the golden light in the lightning during the thunder tribulation. There was golden light in every bolt of lightning. The lightning burned him and then healed him quickly. Could it be that the golden light energy was hiding in his body? Could it be that the energy could not only heal his body but also enhance his defense? Lu Li had a feeling that there should be something different about the minor success of the immortal body, but he couldn't tell. Now that he was attacked, he suddenly realized that he could enhance his defense? Let's try it. Lu Li swung his fist and smashed at his leg. At the same time, he activated the mark of Tao. As he punched, the energy around his leg automatically converged and appeared in the area where he was attacked. Boom! Lu Li felt a pain in his leg, but he was not injured. Of course, Lu Li didn't use too much strength. Lu Li was delighted. When the energy converged, the defense around his leg was greatly enhanced. Buzzing, Lu Li took out a relic weapon and cut at his leg. This time it was the same. The only difference was that his leg was cut. What made Lu Li overjoyed was that his body was recovering at an incredible speed. If it were not for the pain, he wouldn't even be able to tell that he was hurt. The minor success of the immortal body is powerful. Luli was grinning from ear to ear. At the same time, his eyes were filled with anticipation. His supreme immortal body was still at the second level. How powerful would he be when he reached the third level? What if he achieved the major success of the supreme immortal body? Would he be invulnerable and unkillable? No, Luli thought of Emperor Z. Emperor Z was strong and he was invincible at the third level of the immortal body realm. Still, he was beheaded. The major success of the supreme immortal body didn't mean that he was invincible. That being said, his defense and physical body must be strong. Luli closed his eyes and searched for a bit more. Then, he put away the interspatial ring and walked out. He didn't know the identity of this Asmodean. What if he was from the Wu family? Therefore, he had better leave as soon as possible. It had been a long time. His body had stabilized. It was time for him to go to the flying fire continent. Luli rushed out. He didn't fly across the void. Instead, he changed his appearance and flew to a nearby island in a low profile. After flying for 10 hours, he entered the island and left via the teleportation formation. Along the way, Luli changed his appearance and teleported for more than 100 times. Finally, he stopped in a big city. Previously, the crippled Zen master said that there were no teleportation formations here. Now, many cities had teleportation formations, but they were all new. They must have been built in recent years. Maybe, when the crippled Zen master made a mess at the Silver Flame Sea, there were no teleportation formations here. However, the speed of teleportation was too slow. Many islands were moving slowly. Therefore, sometimes teleportation would take a detour. The teleportation fees were high, much higher than at the Wind Continent. Luli collected some information in the city. The Silver Flame Sea had been quieter in recent years. The only major event was the Go family in the north. There was a talented girl who had reached the 5th tribulation before the age of 100, which caused quite a stir. Luli didn't care about that. What he was thinking was how to get to the flying fire continent quickly and safely. After he gathered all the information, he decided to take the Scorching Islands battleship to the flying fire continent. The mysterious man was defeated. The Scorching Islands battleship was operating normally again. Nothing had happened in the past few years. Luli went to a nearby city and found a branch of the Scorching Island. He handed over the divine stones and stayed there quietly, waiting for the battleship to arrive. Last time, Luli spent so many divine stones, but the Scorching Island didn't give him any. Later, when he was chased by the Wu family, he ran away. This time, Luli didn't ask for the divine stones from the Scorching Island. He boarded the battleship with a new identity. Several forces of the Silver Flame Sea had worked together to fight against the mysterious man. What if his identity was exposed and the Scorching Island sold him to the Wu family? 23 days later, Luli boarded the battleship. Once he stepped onto the battleship, he silently prayed that everything would be smooth sailing this time and that nothing bad would happen. Chapter 2467. Luli lived in a cabin on the second floor of the battleship. He went into the cabin as soon as he came up and never came out again. He used the trace of Tao to check and made sure that nobody was following him. Then, he went into closed-door cultivation. He would not come out until he reached the flying fire continent. This time, the battleship had a safe journey. Nobody dared to attack the Scorching Islands battleship on the way. Over the years, the powerful warriors of the Scorching Island had been suppressing their anger. If there were any old demons that dared to attack the Scorching Island, they would be torn into pieces. There were more powerful warriors on the battleship. Over the years, there would be some lords on the battleship every now and then. Those lords were not here to protect the battleship, but to wait for their prey. The Scorching Island had been waiting for a chance to establish dominance, a chance to regain glory. Over the years, the Scorching Island could not wait for someone to make trouble for the Scorching Island so that they could go on a killing spree and restore the glory of the Scorching Island. At the moment, there was a lord on the battleship Luli was on. But the average people did not know about him. Not even the warriors of the Scorching Island knew about him. Only the dozens of warriors of the Fifth Tribulation did. Unfortunately, it was a safe trip. Nothing happened along the way. In recent years, nobody dared to make trouble for the major forces. Those old demons were not stupid. They would not run into trouble. The battleship moved forward quickly. Luli continued to cultivate the law of sound. He had been studying this law for 11 years without success. It was not hard to imagine how abstruse this law was. Luli's power of understanding was not the best, but it was not bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such abilities at such a young age. Luli was not in a hurry. If the law could be learned in a short time, then it would not be impressive. The more powerful a law was, the more complicated and difficult it would be. Luli was looking forward to how powerful the law would be when he mastered it. The battleship moved forward quickly. Whenever there was an eruption of the Silver Flame volcano, the battleship would stop and warriors of the Scorching Island would go out. Some of the people on the battleship would go out as well. After retrieving the treasures, the battleship would move on. Soon, 5 months had passed. The battleship was in the northern part of the Silver Flame Sea. In a few days, it would arrive at the largest city in the north, the Go King City. Some people on the battleship were going to the Go King City, and some were going to have a tour. The battleship would stay in King Gowang City for 10 days, and the battleship needed to replenish its energy and repair itself. 3 days later, the warship arrived outside a large city. The city was built on a cliff and floated in mid-air like a floating island. Many in the battleship had left. Only those in cultivation stayed, including Luli. Luli was not interested in such a big city. He was afraid that something might go wrong if he went in. He would rather stay on the battleship. Dozens of experts from Heavenly Scorching Island entered, leaving behind a Fifth Tribulation expert to hold the fort. 100 soldiers were left behind, while the rest entered the city. The people of Heavenly Flame Island were also very bored, so every time they arrived at a big city, they would stay for a few days. The people of Heavenly Flame Island would go down to have fun and relax. The battleship was very safe outside the city. King Go City was the main city of the Go clan. Anyone who caused trouble in the city would die. Even if they were outside the city, they wouldn't dare to cause a ruckus. Furthermore, most people wouldn't have the guts to attack the Sky Flame Island's warships. That being said, something happened. On the second day, 2 warriors flew out of the city. As soon as they left the city, they began to fight. Their attacks accidentally landed on the battleship, leaving a crack on the ship. Courting death. One of the Fifth Tribulation experts on the warship immediately flew into a rage. He crushed the Jade Talisman and flew out of the warship, charging towards the 2 old devils. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! Powerful warriors of Heavenly Flame Island flew out from the city. The Hidden Lord was the fastest. When he saw that the battleship was cracked, he was not angry. Instead, he was delighted. He let out a long howl and swatted at one of them. That person was effortlessly swatted down and was smacked to death. The other warrior came back to his senses. Seeing so many warriors of Heavenly Flame Island coming, he bowed and said, "My lords, don't kill me. I am not the one who attacked your battleship. It is him." Boom. What answered him was a huge hand. The warriors of Heavenly Flame Island didn't have the chance to establish their dominance. Now that they finally had the chance and they were outside the King Gowang City, how could they miss such a good chance? The powerful lord snorted and said, "I don't care who you are. Anyone who dares to attack the battleship of Heavenly Flame Island will be killed." Luli and the others flew out. The battleship was destroyed, so they all flew out as soon as possible. Looking at the hole on the battleship, Luli put on a bitter expression. Every time he took a ride on a battleship, it was destroyed. Was he a jinx? Follow me into the city. A leader flew over and said to Luli and the others, the battleship needs to be repaired. It will take at least a month. Don't worry. There will be people who will take care of your food and lodging. Luli didn't care about food and lodging. What he was worried about was that he might be recognized. Or this was a trap all along. Were they trying to lure him into the city on purpose? I don't think so. Luli shook his head. If he had been recognized, he wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. A lord of the Wu family could just take him down or kill him instantly. Luli followed the group into the city. The city was bustling with activity. There were many people of different races and many scantily dressed ladies swaying their bodies. Luli and the others were arranged to stay in a tavern. This tavern was not a branch of Heavenly Flame Island, but a luxurious one in the city. As soon as Luli checked into the tavern, he activated the inhibition formation and asked Blood Fairy to lay down some runes. If anyone approached him, he would immediately fly away through the void. During the month, Luli lived in the tavern in fear. Fortunately, nothing unexpected happened. After a month, Luli was told that he could board the battleship now. The battleship was repaired. When Luli boarded the battleship, he had been using the trace of Great Path to check. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. The only thing that surprised Luli was, this time, there were 5 mysterious powerful warriors. They were all wearing advanced masks to hide their identities. One of the girls looked like an old lady. Through the trace of Great Path, Luli could tell that she was a young girl, a very young one. The 5 must be powerful and of high status. Luli noticed that a patriarch of Heavenly Flame Island had arranged cabins for them in person, quite luxurious ones. Are they from the Wu family? Luli wondered. But on second thought, if they were here to kill him, they would not have brought along such a young lady. Why would a young lady from a major family disguise herself as an old lady? What was their secret? Luli could not figure it out. He had to stay alert. He asked Blood Fairy to lay down more runes. If something went wrong, he would have to fly away. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.